Yeah, I'm back home. I had to come back home, but I had to tell my wife that I had to work. Oh man, a work Zoom just came up, so I drove to a park. This is like a mile away from my house. This is a park that I'm in. I had to come to a park, and she was like a Zoom, like a work Zoom on Sunday, and I was like, it's crazy. I missed it. I was in New York. Bing bong, Maxie.
On today's Part of My Take, we have a packed Monday show for the people. Crazy weekend in sports. We have the Kentucky Derby. We have NBA playoffs. We have hockey talk with Biz. We have our good friend JOC on the show. We're going to talk about Brady's Roast after Biz and JOC. We got a lot to get to.
So much.
We have a lot to get to. Great show coming your way, and it's all brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and so is the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Teams are knocking on the door of the conference finals, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way with same-game parlays, live betting odds, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out as the NBA postseason winds down. It's super easy to get started with DraftKings if you're a first-timer. Try betting on something like a team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, place your first bet. It's that simple. Hank, your Celtics are playing Tuesday night against the Cleveland Cavaliers. You can bet on the Celtics to win. We also have the Nuggets and Wolves Game 2 Monday night. It's going to be great. And if you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code TAKE. That's code TAKE. The new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours with DraftKings. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code TAKE. That's code TAKE for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Today is Monday, May 6th. And boys, I don't even know where to start because we have so much things to talk about, so many things happening in the sports world.
Let's see. NBA, NHL, horse.
Boxing.
F1. Well, the prices at F1. You want to start with the prices at F1?
Start with the prices. But everyone tuned in for this podcast.
This is what people want to hear because I got personally offended on behalf of America.
Yes.
With these prices.
Okay.
I don't know if they were priced in Eurodollars or whatever.
Someone's going to be so mad tuning in Monday morning.
That.
Like, they're talking F1?
This is what I'm mad about.
Okay.
We're not going to talk a single bit about F1.
No.
We're going to talk about the concession stand prices. Maine lobster rolls. How much do you think those run?
I saw it. So
$280.
Yeah.
Yellowfin tuna poke, $170. Prawn, $290. The fruit refresher. In the fruit refresher, it's got pineapple, watermelon, stone fruit, some things I can't pronounce, kiwi, and coconut. $190.
Do you know what the craziest part about this is? The menu that you just listed with those prices, it was $1,000 to even get into that spot.
Yeah.
So $1,000 cover to get a fruit refresher for $200.
The fruit refresher was the worst.
Sweet though.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. So the wings, $190. How many wings do you think you get for $190? I'm guessing
probably 6.
I'm guessing 8. I think they give you 8 because they don't want to give you 6 because that looks like a half order.
Yeah, true.
They give you 8 to 10, and it's $190.
Those better be the best wings ever. I'd actually pay that for wing nuts.
Your wing nuts, yeah.
Yeah.
I would. By the way, I would love to see Ed and Alicia down at Miami F1, just cooking it up in the kitchen.
They'd probably get a winning car.
Yeah,
just get it gassed up. All right. So the biggest story in my mind, and there's a ton we're going to talk about, is Anthony Edwards and what he did on Saturday night in Denver against the defending champion Nuggets in Game 1. Obviously, a lot of series left. But Anthony Edwards is appointment television. Anthony Edwards is him. Anthony Edwards is the next upcoming superstar in the NBA. I know we talked about superstars when it came to Jalen Brunson. I think the playoffs is when you start to see, like, Jalen Brunson is doing something these playoffs that will get him to superstar level if he continues to do it. Anthony Edwards is 22 years old, and what he's doing through the first 5 games in these playoffs for him have been just out of this world.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's dunking on people. He's hitting the mid-range jump shots. He's bringing a lot of energy, too. Also, the team that he's on around him, he's like the perfect piece that he's developed into on that team as their star. When you got Gobert, and then you've got Naz Reid, who we had the Naz Reid game on Saturday at the end of the game.
Banking in threes.
And everything. He's in the Jelly fam.
Yeah.
Naz Reid, him and Jelly Walker go like way back in the day. He was awesome to watch.
He was awesome. Yeah, you mentioned that. And no offense to Karl Anthony Towns. He's a very good basketball player. He does foul a lot, and he gets fouled out a lot. I think he actually didn't get fouled out in this game, but he was close. He was like, they're like, all right, let's just put him on the bench, and then maybe we'll bring him back in at the end. But no offense to Karl Anthony Towns. He's a good, very good basketball player. One quote afterwards, and I understand what he was doing. He was trying to be a good teammate. But he said, everybody talks about the big 3, the me, Rudy, and Ant combo, but we really have a big 15. Very nice sentiment. He's talking about the team. I don't think anyone's talking about the big 3 in Minnesota. They're talking about Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I don't.
It's Anthony Edwards.
Cat is like he's developed. He's the rare superstar that he was like a star when he got into the league.
Yeah,
he might just fade out into being a great piece.
Yeah, some big time Bosco energy from him.
Great
big
piece.
3.
Yeah,
but yeah, Anthony Edwards has been just absolutely incredible, and people, he was good the last 2 years. It's not like this is he just has like all of a sudden shown up. But what he's doing is taking the next step. And I said this a couple weeks ago. Watching a guy take that next step, like while you're watching it, and you can just point to it and be like, "Oh my God, this is different than the last couple of years," is one of the most like enjoyable experiences in sports. So I went back, looked for his first 2 years, numbers were good, but he was averaging 26 points per game, 3.5 assists, and 4 rebounds in his playoff games, 46% shooting. This year, through 5 games, he's averaging 33, 5, and 8 with 53% shooting. It is this next step. Like he is going to another level that seems like he is taking the NBA by storm. Again, the Nuggets are the defending champs. I think this is going to be a long series, but he has no fear, and he's an absolute killer, and people are throwing around the MJ comparison, and like it doesn't feel forced.
It's not crazy.
No, it doesn't feel forced. You know what I mean?
He's got a lot to do. He has to win 1 ring first, but
of course, but he's got 22.
He's got that like killer mentality to him.
The list of players that have scored 35 plus in 3 straight playoff games at age 22 or younger. Lou Alcindor, you might know him. He is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Anthony Edwards.
Mm-hmm. Pretty
crazy list there that Anthony Edwards is now on. And it's awesome to watch. It's in Minnesota. We talked at lengths about Minnesota's sports tragedy. It's one of, if not the number one city in terms of shitty things always seem to happen in Minnesota, where their teams are always good, but they're never great. And they the Twins with their losing, what would they lose, 15 games in a row or something?
Yeah, it was crazy. That it lasted like decades.
Yeah, the Vikings, we know their history. The Wolves, the fact that they had Kevin Garnett, they went to one Western Conference final. They didn't win a series since this year. It's nice that this fan base gets to like wrap their arms around a 22-year-old up-and-coming superstar in Anthony Edwards.
Sadly, we have to put to bed the narrative that the Lakers gave the Nuggets the best matchup.
Yes.
I think we can officially say.
Kind of my point the whole time.
Not true, Mike Greenberg.
Yeah.
I know that we liked watching the sweep and then the gentleman's sweep, and we're like, damn, these games are fun. Turns out the Timberwolves a little bit better than the Lakers as a basketball team.
Yeah, kind of feel a little vindicated. I know that they did fire Darvin Ham, which Lakers fans wanted him to be fired. I totally understand that. He wasn't a good coach. But going back to the original point, I never thought the Lakers were the second best team in the NBA, only behind the Denver Nuggets.
Also the Celtics.
Yeah. Well, no, but people were saying they were this, like if the Lakers just didn't have to play the Nuggets, they would have won the last 2 titles.
Celtics are by far the best team in the NBA. There's no chance that they lose.
Hank's got his cockiness back. But yeah,
zero chance.
That was a crazy game 1. Like it was to see them punch them in the mouth, and even the way it started, it was like 18-4 before you could even blink. And then the Nuggets came back, and the Nuggets were up late, and then it was just Naz Reid and Anthony Edwards no fear.
Yeah.
These young Wolves, and I love the Wolves colors. Like I feel like they've done a good job of doing the retro current jersey mix.
Yeah, they don't do the muted colors. You get the bright greens, the bright blues.
Yeah.
It feels good. It feels fun. We also had a James Harden legacy game over the weekend.
So the Clippers.
James Harden went out there and he went 5 for 16 from the field, -6 plus 16 points, dropped 16 on him. And they lost.
Yeah, the Clippers, good thing for James Harden and Paul George, and we'll get to this in Who's Back, that I think this was the night that Drake released one song and then Kendrick Lamar released like 2 on top of his head.
Yeah.
Because the Clippers just went out sad on Friday night, and then we had all these sports on Saturday and Sunday, and people just kind of forgot, oh, yeah, the Clippers are one of the biggest sports disasters. They are a disaster franchise.
I think Charles Barkley said, I've been rich, I've been poor.
Yes.
I've been skinny, I've been fat, but the Clippers have always sucked.
Put perfectly.
That's it.
I mean, that's exactly right. Like the Clippers just can't get out of their own way ever.
Some things never change.
Yeah.
It's comforting a little bit.
It is. And the Mavs look awesome, and I think the Thunder are still in the playoffs. They haven't played in so long.
Yeah, they're still around. They're hanging.
I mean, I like watching the Thunder. They're very fun. They're very young, but this feels like the fact that they beat the Pelicans so fast and it was like not even eventful games. I even tweeted, I was like, are the Thunder going to ever play again? Like, because it feels like we haven't seen them in forever. But the Mavs, I mean, Kyrie seems happy.
Kyrie seems awesome.
He seems loved.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be a great series, though. I think the Thunder are gonna win, but the Mavs. I mean, they have. I feel like they played the Clippers a bunch, and Luka even said like this was personal. So just taking out the Clippers, not having to worry about will Kawhi play for the rest of the playoffs, which I'm happy to have that discourse out.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be done with the Clippers shit.
Yeah, right.
Can we officially say like this is the end of the Clippers shit that we have to deal with?
I was happy to be done with their shit. What, like 5 years ago?
I think I'm done with their shit.
Yeah.
I think the next iteration of the Clippers, it'll take a while for us to get over their shit too. But like this team as it's currently formed and the expectations that came along with it, I think we're officially done with their shit. And
yeah, like we could go back 6 years, and I think that exact same thing. Remember when Blake?
Yeah,
that was awkward.
Yeah, Blake.
I was like,
Chris
I think
Paul,
I'm done with their shit.
That iteration of the Clippers shit.
That's basically every Clippers iteration is just like they're fun for a little bit, and then you just get tired, and you're like, okay, that's it.
Yeah, was Baron Davis? That was one of the eras, maybe.
Yeah, it's just
I was done with their shit then.
We're done with their shit. Hank, are you ready for round 2 now that we should talk about Game 7, Magic, Cavs. This series was maybe the most disrespected series, 7-game series in NBA history because they played every game on NBA TV. I think they played 3 1:00 games because Game 1, Game 4, and Game 7 were all 1:00 on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They played Game 7 at 1:00 Eastern on Sunday afternoon.
Why did they do that? Why did they move it back just out of respect?
I think it was because of F1. I think F1 was on ABC,
That's
so
disrespect.
they took it away. But the Cavs did survive. This is one of those series that as the series went on, it felt like the Magic are young. They're fun. Well, they're fun-ish. Paolo's very fun. The rest of the team can't really shoot that well, but they're gonna be heard from later on in like the next few years. The Cavs were desperately. They need to win this series because if you remember, the Cavs tanked to get this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So if they lost this series, it would have been a disaster for them. They go down huge in the first half. They come back and win. Evan Mobley had like 16 rebounds. I feel like the Cavs are actually better whenever Jared Allen or Evan Mobley is out and they have one true center and they don't have to play this 2-center thing. What is your level of worry for the Cleveland Cavaliers? LeBron James not walking through that door.
Yeah, probably a 0.01.
Yes, cocky.
They'll probably maybe win one game and have like a historic shooting night like the Heat or something, but this should be a 4-1 or 4-0
You do. The Heat
series.
The Heat do live rent-free in your brain. Like anytime a game goes bad for the Celtics, you're like, oh, it's the Heat all over again.
No, but
I mean,
the Cavs aren't a threat. The fans were chanting, "We want Boston." That
You don't want Boston.
That, especially after tanking to get the Magic and then having to go 7 games with them. I would say that
And they should have lost. Like maybe they shouldn't have lost this game, but it took an otherworldly performance from Mitchell in the second half. They were down 18 points.
Yeah, they were
early on in the
very
game?
slow start.
They were down 18 points, and then our buddy Wagner, Franz had a not his best night. Not his best night shooting. Couldn't really make any, or excuse me, best afternoon shooting.
I think he's been injured.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that.
I was going deep into Magic, trying to do my research. But I remember before the series started, reading up about it, and it was like he got injured a couple months ago, and his shot has been very flat since. So he hasn't been able to get the same lift. So we'll go with that because he's a friend of the program. I would say, Hank, one game that Donovan Mitchell goes like nuclear. And maybe because the Celtics do have the tendency to maybe take their foot off the gas for a game here or there. But yeah, come on.
It's the Cavs.
Come on.
4-1.
They did go.
4-1.
They went further than LeBron.
That's true.
This is a dub for Cavs fans.
First series that Dan Gilbert's ever won as an owner without LeBron James.
Yeah, so this is probably, it goes back to pre-LeBron that the Cavs have gone this far without LeBron.
Yeah. So it's not even, come on.
So LeBron's never been out of the playoffs before the Cleveland Cavaliers until this moment.
Correct.
That's a win. Hang the banner, Cleveland.
Yeah, as long as he's been playing, yes, that's a fact. Yeah, this is, come on.
Bloodbath.
What is a bloodbath? Is that a whomping? We're talking 5 games max?
5 games max. Point differential is going to be like in triple digits.
Triple
digits. Do the math on that.
So that means you're going to win a game. You have to win a game by like 40.
Yeah, 30.
So that's 120. So you're going to win 4 games by 30.
Yeah. I don't know what the math will be, but yeah, it'll be combined. The 4 wins.
I wonder
will be
triple digits.
Triple digits.
Bloodbath is worse than Whomping, in my opinion.
Yeah, bloodbath is.
Triple digits is that's a hell of a call.
What are you going to do if you don't get it?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think, I think you guys are safe. I
Although
think Cavs fans, even our guy Ohio State said that, he said it perfectly. He was like, I'm not going to get excited about 1 win. I'll only let myself believe if we win 2 games. And then he was like, but if we win game 1, then that changes. But I don't. The Cavs have to win 2 games for me to be like, ooh, okay, something's going on here.
And not a lot of rest either for them.
No.
Yeah. How have you guys played against them this year?
Better that we lost the Magic twice, so I was rooting for the Cavs.
Oh, and the whole Florida thing. Maybe it's just it's not the heat. It's Florida. It's not the heat. It's the humidity.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to believe Hank. I want to lean into the whole like triple digit series victory, but also this would be just such great tape if they beat you. Like looking back on everything you've just said.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no way.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's Cocky Hank's.
You're right.
We have to embrace. We ask Cocky Hank to come back. So when Cocky Hank makes a proclamation, we have to be like, credit to you.
Hank's right. It's the Cavs.
Yeah, it's the Cavs, dude. You got this.
Porzingis is probably fine.
Just don't even play him. Let him get healthy.
Well, he's gonna miss a minimum of several games.
Yeah, minimum.
So, a minimum of several games. The other thing we should probably talk about, and we have Jerry O'Connell coming on to talk about his Knicks, but we didn't talk about it on Thursday because we had a lot of stuff going on, and we were taping before the full everything that came out after. But Pat Bev had a pretty bad Thursday night. He is a coworker of ours. We love Pat Bev. I will start with the reporter thing. I didn't think it was that bad. Reporters love defending reporters.
Yep.
Pat Bev's been doing this all year. Subscribe to the pod. It's very easy to hit one button. People making it like a misogynistic thing, crazy. He's been doing it to guys too.
The original tweet said this to a female reporter.
Yeah.
It singled it out, which like in the short video clip that you saw, it looked bad.
Yeah.
But if you know that he says that to every single reporter.
He's been saying it all year.
Yeah.
And you can say that that's Bush League, that's fine, but he is an eccentric guy who's been saying that all year. I have no problem with it. What happened was the snowball of people being like, now I have to talk about this reporter like she was just hit by a bus, and being like, she's the finest reporter we've ever had. I can't believe Pat Bev would do this. This is disgusting. Whatever. I just didn't think. He's been doing it all year. Like just subscribe to the pod. It's very easy. he probably shouldn't have thrown a basketball at a person.
That's what I think really set off the win after a female reporter. 'Cause
Yeah.
He threw the ball. I think the first one was at a female fan.
Yeah.
And then the second one hit the guy next. And by the way, great catch. The guy that got it the second time. You shouldn't have given him the ball back.
Yeah.
That was your mistake. And then he threw it again. That lent itself to all sorts of digging into what Pat was up to that night.
Yeah.
And
that was a mistake.
It was a mistake. He's probably going to face some sort of discipline for it. The reporter thing, I think that it's definitely fair for somebody to be like, I don't like that he says this to every reporter.
Agree.
It gets old.
Yeah.
You can have that take. Yeah.
100%.
Not going to argue with you.
Yep.
But I don't think it was like targeted to that one person.
Right.
But you can't go out losing a playoff series like that and then throwing a ball at a fan a couple times. He would probably tell you, yeah, I fucked that up. And then my favorite is Draymond talking about Pat Bev on his pod.
Yeah.
Being like, I can't believe like Pat's one of those guys you got to watch out for. It's like you're literally Draymond Green.
Tweet of the week was, I'm sorry for not saying this person's handle because I don't have it in front of me, but he was like, this is like Osama bin Laden breaking down ISIS tape.
Yeah.
Draymond talking about Pat Bev.
No class.
Yeah. I think he probably shouldn't have thrown that ball. I'll say it. I'll go as far as to say that you probably shouldn't throw things at fans because it opens up a pretty bad Pandora's box when it comes to fan player like back and forth. And he's going to get fined. He probably will get suspended. But it was also like it was telling how many people were just like ready to retire Pat Bev and just totally kick him when he's down. It's like, okay, you can do that. That's fine. He's a friend of ours. We're not going to kick a friend when he had a moment that's very regrettable. But people were lining up to go after Pat Bev.
Well, they had like a long list of receipts about everything they hate about Pat Bev.
Right.
And it's like, now I get to unload the clip. Okay, Pat. Not everybody likes Pat Bev. I'd say that the majority of the NBA probably doesn't like Pat Bev unless he's on their team.
Right.
And then they fucking love the guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like Pat Bev.
Right now,
I'll
Pat
stand up and say I like Pat Bev.
Pat Bev's on our team. If Pat Bev was on Bleacher Report,
we would
like,
have we'd be singing a totally different tune.
Love having
Although
that guy
I
on your team.
I still don't think I'd have a problem with the reporter thing. I would stay true to what we're saying is don't throw balls at fans.
Yeah, but what happens is when you throw balls at fans, then everything becomes fair game.
Yeah.
And the way that you conduct yourself in the locker room afterwards, then it's like, oh, that's also weird.
Here's the thing. Next time we have Pat Bev on, we'll ask him this to his face. I don't think he's a great loser.
Yeah.
He doesn't really lose well.
No. Wait, now if he had won, then
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah, show me a good loser. I'll show you a loser.
if he had won that game, then the narrative would be he was simply giving a souvenir to a fan twice in her face.
Yeah. The second one was to a guy.
I think he missed. I think he was aiming.
And, okay, I'll say this. Shouldn't have thrown it at the woman. That was bad because I don't even think she was looking. The second toss, when the guy threw it back to him and Pat Bev chucked it at him, that guy was, I believe, wearing a jersey with no sleeves underneath. I think that's fair game.
Because you think he might be a player.
Well, just any guy who goes no sleeves jersey, like you're kind of saying, "Hey, I'm in the mix."
I thought it was Pat Connaughton.
You're hoping if you go to a game with with the jersey, no t-shirt underneath, you're hoping the coach accidentally puts you in the game. Pat Bev was just like, "Here, let's try it out, buddy."
Also, shout out to the guy that was standing next to the girl that got hit with the ball. The one that didn't catch the second one.
Yeah.
Because that guy was ready to fight after the second ball was thrown. He's like, I'm going to act like that almost hit me and take it personally and go try to charge Pat Bev.
There also was a weird story that he was like banned from ESPN after, which was not true. Again, it was weird because it was like everyone was I get it. Pat Bev is not liked by a lot of people and everyone's just trying to kick him while he's down. Just don't throw balls at people. Jake, as our resident nerd reporter, how disgusted were you by Pat Bev saying subscribe to the pod?
Not disgusted at all.
Ooh.
I think the only part where I had a little bit of an issue is he pushed the mic away.
Oh,
the
never
mic.
touch a mic.
Don't
Never
do
touch
that.
a mic.
Yep.
Don't do that. That mic's not yours. That
Yep.
mic's ESPN property.
Yeah,
Yep.
but no issue
Wait, Jake,
plugging the pod.
do you subscribe to the pod?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, good.
Yeah,
Then you can answer.
Yeah.
We actually next time we have Pat Bev on, we should unsubscribe in his face and see if he ends the interview.
He'd probably throw something.
Yeah, that would actually be great.
Actually, I refuse to interview Pat Bev until he subscribes to Part of My Take.
That's facts.
That's what ESPN should do. Fight fire with fire. Just be like, you're not coming on our show unless you subscribe to our entire network.
Yeah,
of
ESPN
shows.
Plus.
Every single thing that Stephen A. Smith is on,
Yeah.
you have to subscribe to.
Until you have tried to watch a game and been logged out 6 times.
Fuck that. I hate it. I fought that battle earlier today. I fought it Saturday. I fought it Friday. I fight
constant.
that every day. My life revolves now around me waking up, coming to work, doing this show, and then when I'm trying to watch a game on my phone, fighting with the ESPN website for 2 hours trying to get logged in through my cable subscription.
I have no problem paying so much money to watch live sports. Just let me watch it.
I would pay double to ESPN if it just
I think
worked.
I do, because
If
I
it
think I
worked.
pay my cable and my...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
But
I definitely pay
I
double.
would pay more on the app just if it worked.
Right. Every time.
Right now, I feel like I'm almost getting a bargain because I paid $9.99 a month or whatever to not be able to watch it. I'm just like, oh, that's the cost of doing business.
And there's some random games that just won't, no matter what, won't even play.
Yeah, oh, if you don't want to watch this, well, here's a second division Welsh rugby game that's on now. That one works just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to watch some like max softball? I actually kind of do sometimes.
Yeah, hey,
Sometimes I just want to see a ball move across the screen.
I noticed that you're trying to watch the Cavs Magic on your phone. Instead, would you care to tune in for bass fishing?
Yeah. Hey, we have this Sam Houston State basketball game from December. You want to watch that again?
You know what? If Pat Bev had just said to the producer from ESPN, I'm not answering your question because your app fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I think there'd be a groundswell of support for Pat Bev.
Let's go, Pat. But yeah, I subscribe to his pod because we'll see what he has to say. I don't think they've done a new episode with Roan yet.
But also shouldn't have thrown either ball.
Second ball, I'm okay with just because the guy didn't have sleeves.
He caught it. Shouldn't thrown the first
First
ball.
ball, no, not good.
And then he may or may not have should have touched the
Should have touched the mic. Fine with that.
Rudy Gobert touched all those mics, and then the world shut down. You never know.
Facts. You talking about Rudy Gobert, Big Three?
Big three, yeah.
The Big Three of the Big Three.
Yeah, the
fame?
R part of the Big Three,
the Big Three fame. Yeah. So we did have to talk about that because like I said, we didn't see we recorded before the microphone thing. We did see the there were 2 clips going around because I saw just the one where he got it back and threw it at the guy.
Yeah, you didn't see what happened before.
I didn't see the woman. When I saw the woman one after we taped, I was like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that.
The first time I saw it, we were watching the game live, and I thought I saw something streak across the screen, and so I texted Liam Blutman, and I was like, hey, can you find this clip? I think something got thrown. And he sent back to me. It was just Pat chucking the ball at the guy with no sleeves. And I was like, oh, yeah, thanks for sending that. Not going to post it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. Hank, you were in the house, Game 7.
On the ice.
I was in the house. Shout out to Game Time. Best ticketing.
Oh, let me do
site.
the Game Time ad real quick. Yeah. So you use Game Time?
I did.
Where did you sit?
I sat in the low section.
Okay. So if you're trying to go to a game, if you're going to a playoff game, you're going to an NBA, NHL, baseball game, Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is a fast and easy way to buy tickets to all of the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. They have flash deals for sudden discounts, zone deals for when you're feeling flexible, and their lowest price guarantee means that if you can find the same seats for less anywhere else, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time is the best place for last-minute seats with up to 60% off your favorite events. What are you waiting for? I'm going to go buy some Cubs tickets this week. We're going to go to the Cubs game on Monday night. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account. Use code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Okay, so Hank, you were there. Set the scene. We're going to talk to Biz in the Maple Leafs side of it, but set the scene.
Hockey fans are the best. There's no better atmosphere than.
You just compliment yourself?
Well, yeah, but
Okay.
when you're in a stadium when it's just hockey fans, Game 7, tension's high, people are going nuts. You love that Pasta got called out after Game 6, said Pasta needs to show up, and him hitting the game winner in overtime was beautiful to see. People are not giving us any chance against the Panthers. I don't know why, but I think it's good. It's going to be good revenge from last year. Like, they have that top of mind. They blew that series. They're the underdogs, the scrappy underdogs. It's just a great time to be a Boston sports fan. It's alternating nights this week. Bruins, Celtics, Bruins, Celtics, Bruins,
Look at
Celtics.
That's
you.
pretty good for you.
7
yeah.
days straight.
You're going to love that. Did you see the stat about the Maple Leafs of the teams that have never played an NHL game in the month of June?
Oof.
The Kraken, they've been around for what, 2-3 years?
3 years.
The Wild,
Okay.
the Blue Jackets,
They have Anthony Edwards.
the Arizona Coyotes
Okay.
aren't even a team
Don't
anymore,
exist.
and then the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's the full list of teams that have never played in June before.
1967. They won 11 of them or something before that.
Yeah, they've got a lot of banners.
They got a lot of banners. The game.
Swayman and the stats, the goalie stats of Swayman's series
Well, Wool got hurt. He didn't play.
turned out to be true. He was the difference maker.
Yeah.
He was the key to the series.
You nailed it.
Wool getting hurt in a meaningless goal in the last second of Game 6 was so Maple Leafs. The other thing that was so Maple Leafs was them scoring in the third period and being like, this time's different, and then the Bruins scoring like 60 seconds later. Like, no, it's not. This is not different at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then the game-winning goal, that pass was insane.
It's beautiful. I
All the way down the ice, across, off the board, right to Pasta, finishes it.
have to imagine that they know their rink and they know where the different parts of the ice where it bends around. Like, okay, there might be a spot that's different in each arena that might carry them off different ways. That was intentional, completely intentional.
It's like old Italians playing bocce.
Yeah, they know the court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked for Leafs fans to tell me how they're feeling after the game. I'll just read a couple that I thought were good. Preston said, it's like when you buy 50-50 tickets, you know you have no chance, but can't help but think maybe this time is different. It's never different.
Never.
That's a pretty good explanation. This one was good. Braden McCarthy said, imagine getting your balls kicked in so much that it eventually kind of feels right. That's what it feels like.
Sickos.
Where it's like, oh, I can't get off unless I get my balls kicked in. And then it's the Nacho Man said, it's the same thing every year. Deep down, we all knew we were going to come back just to lose in the most heartbreaking fashion possible. And the last one, Berezin's Loose Helmet said, we are so numb you could bottle our blood and use it as prescription painkiller.
Yeah, you have to wonder if Toronto fans just secretly hate the spring.
Yeah.
Like hate the month of May, hate the month of April because they associate it so closely with losing hockey games. Like everybody else is pumped for April and May. It's one of the best times of year. It's like summer's basically here.
Yeah.
It feels good. Not Maple Leafs fans. They're like, oh yeah, when it's 72 degrees outside, that's when I actually feel the worst in my entire life.
Yeah. And it felt like, especially last year, the Bruins going up 3-1 and losing, like this was the Leafs finally had the team, like the Bruins have been fading still.
You just can't
Same
do it.
result.
Yeah.
Same result. Now you're going against the Panthers, Hank.
Revenge.
We
Underdogs.
also had the Stars and Knights, which was an incredible series.
Great
Go to
series.
7. Stars win in Game 7. I'm addicted to betting unders in Game 7s. I'll just say that.
Because teams feel each other out too much.
They just don't score.
Yeah.
But
you don't want to make the first mistake.
that was our guys, Whitney and Biz and RA. They know their puck, because I remember having the conversation with Whit like 2 weeks ago. By the way, congratulations. He just had his third child. He was like, the Stars and Knights will be an absolute bloodbath of a series. And either team could win the Stanley Cup, but they have to face each other in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Knights went up 2-0 in Dallas, I was like, oh, he doesn't know puck. And then it was exactly what he said. It was just an absolute war of a series. And both teams are really good, but the Stars were a little bit better.
Yeah, it's like the Avs and then these two teams.
Yeah.
The favorites to win out of the West.
So the Dallas is doing the same thing. Hank, both your cities. Dallas is got the Mavs and the Stars going every
Same
other
with
night.
New York.
Yeah, New
Yeah,
York
New York's
as well.
advancing too. The Rangers look good.
Yeah, the Rangers.
They look really
good.
good.
Boston, New York hockey and basketball.
Wow.
At the same
Conference
time,
finals would be incredible.
just going back and forth between the two cities,
Switch.
night after night after night.
And Colorado.
And Colorado's
Colorado.
got it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn,
Wow,
the
Hank.
rich keep getting richer.
That'd be pretty fun.
It's time lapse season.
It is. Oh, I love a good time lapse.
Yeah.
When
Got so many options.
they put the wood down, then they put the ice down,
yep.
then the wood down again, then they speed it up.
Mm-hmm.
That shit gets me going.
Big time lapse. What else we got? Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, the horses. We had a great time on Saturday.
Had a great time. Remember Spudster the horse?
Spudster the horse.
Spudster the horse, right,
It was
Jake?
fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Memes?
Memes remembers that too, yeah.
Spudster the horse.
Spudster. Hey, don't use the crop on him.
Oh shit! That's from PFT's party. Me,
You guys wouldn't get it.
Jake,
'cause
memes.
Hank and Max weren't
Shane, Pug. We were all there.
PFT was a great host.
Great
there.
host.
Thank you, Jake. Pug
great.
shut the party down. Pug and Shane stayed up till the wee hours of the morning.
They were Spudster the horse.
They were spudding.
You guys wouldn't get it. It's an inside joke.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm happy for you guys. Sounds like you had a great time.
Oh, fantastic time.
You were there?
Yeah.
I was there.
And you know what?
I showed up with my daughter, had her dressed to the nines. She had a hat on, a purse. Fucking great. She came to PFT's house and she just goes, "Can we look at all the rooms?" And I was like, okay. And then we just went and opened every door in his house.
She was like Dwight Schrute at the house party episode, going around testing structural integrity.
We looked at every room. It was fucking nuts.
I was dressed as a horse. I didn't expect anybody else to show up in costume. Titus was the first one over, and he came over dressed as a jockey.
Yeah.
And we looked like the slowest jockey-horse combination ever. He was like twice my height.
Also,
that would never work.
I don't know if you ate the cupcakes we brought, but I'm going to need them back.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
They're all gone.
Yeah, because we brought cupcakes and then we didn't eat any. And my daughter woke up this morning. She was like, "Where are our cupcakes?" I was like, "No, we brought them
We brought them
to
over.
a party." She's like, "But what? Why don't we have the cupcakes now?"
Yeah.
But yeah, Spuds to the horse.
Yeah, we'll always have that. You guys want?
Do you guys want us to tell you the inside joke, Spuds to the horse?
It's at one of the two of your expenses.
Yeah.
But you have to guess which one.
It's me.
No, he actually didn't talk about you guys at all.
Yeah. No, I texted these guys before. I was like, I'm just gonna say Spuds to the horse. We didn't come up with an inside joke.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
But it hurt for a second, didn't it?
No.
I was curious.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it.
We did have a moment where it was just it was me, Jake, memes, Pug, PFT, Shane, and we're just like, isn't it nice not having Hank and Max here?
It was nice. The vibes were good.
Yeah.
There was no secret hatred in there.
Good time.
I bet it was worse.
Yeah, I missed you guys a lot. I actually did. But yeah. So the Kentucky Derby was thrilling. Imagine having one of your favorite guests in Randy Moss on the show, asking him for long shots, him saying, "Oh, this horse that actually has the same name as myself, you should maybe think about it," and then not betting it.
Yeah, it was tough. It was
Mystic
tough.
Dan was, you just can't. I was just so, I never win the Derby, but to have it be Mystic Dan and just sit there and people were tweeting me being like, "Mystic Dan, you must have bet it." Nope. Not even thinking about betting it.
Fierceness with an all-time choke job.
That was an awesome finish.
It was great. Three-way photo finish.
Yeah. Crazy. Mystic Dan. I felt bad for our guy Rapoli, strong Italian. But, yeah, I really wish I had bet that horse.
What did they do before the photo finish? Was there just a guy up in the booth with binoculars and he was like, I think this horse was fast?
I think the photo finish was like, that was the first photo ever.
It's like people always make the mistake of saying that porn is the seed that grows like every single bit of video technology.
Yeah.
It's actually gambling and horse
Yeah,
racing.
horse racing.
It's like we got to figure out a way to tell who won this horse race, and then a guy invented a camera.
Yeah, pretty much. What are you going to say, Max?
Jason Worth looked incredible.
He did look cool with
He
his
looked
hair.
incredible.
By the way, Max, I put so much money on his horse, Dornock, to finish in second. Just a Philadelphia horse coming in second would have been amazing.
I mean, he's also a Nat.
Yeah, but he's a Philly. He
Yeah,
didn't
he's
even
a
like
Philly.
being a Nat when he was a Nat.
He's a Philly.
He's a Philly. It was a great event. Great party. Kentucky Derby is the beginning of summer, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable race. Mystic Dan. Fuck.
So now is the conversation like, could he win the Triple Crown? Now you have to immediately pivot to that.
No, because he's got to go up against Baffert.
Yeah, that's right.
Baffert's going to steal the show.
I hope Baffert wins 2/3 of it.
Yeah. No.
And then it's
Baffert-
always big
Oof.
asterisk. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
We'll
could-
have Randy Moss back on, and I'm going to, we wrote down, he did win the Oaks.
Yeah, he won. He gave us the
One and
first
two.
and second place in the Oaks.
Yeah, so people who listen, they know that Randy Moss knows his horses, but the fact that he did say Mystic Dan, and then I was basically, what's his name, Kieran McCulkin from Succession, just looking at the rocket blow up and putting my phone back in my pocket.
Mhm.
Mystic Dan won, and I just looked at it and was like, everyone's tweeting me that I
That
Ra-
he
not only did
definitely bet this horse.
not only did Randy Moss tell us, but his name is Dan. And I just put my phone in my pocket. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go about the rest of my day.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like an easy win that you should have had.
Yeah.
If there was a horse named
The
Hank,
easiest.
If there was a horse named Hank definitely would have bet on it no matter what.
Well, there was a horse named Hank. He was one of the worst horses ever. Dave named one of his horses Handsome Hank.
Was he good?
He fucking
First horse.
sucked.
Did they?
Remember that one race that he it actually was
Still running.
it was like 25 seconds before he finished.
Did they put it down afterwards? Did they pull like
He was a French horse.
a cricket the dog and just shoot it?
Yeah, it didn't last much longer after that.
No, he was a bad horse. Handsome Hank. It's tough. Okay, anything else from Sports Weekend before we do Who's Back? Canelo fight was awesome. It was
Brooks?
Fucking did Brooks?
Brooks won.
Yeah,
Brooks
Hank's
won.
Yeah, we can steal the who's backs.
In
That's fine.
Singapore.
He won, but it was a stacked field as far as the Live Tour goes. The leaderboard looked good. This is the first weekend where I've looked at a Live leaderboard and then looked at the PGA leaderboard and been like, well, this just isn't even close.
Yeah. Well, this would burn also my Who's Back, but Hank, would you, as the number one Live head here, would you like to have a statement about them using fake tweets in the broadcast?
Yeah, not great. I don't know why they would do that. Maybe, just because of the time difference. There wasn't a lot of people tweeting about Live, so they had to just come up with something. But
They used a real Twitter account, JJM Habs, and they posted a tweet saying, "Let's go smash GC, get on that podium, make it happen, BK." And then when you look up his Twitter account, he's a diehard Vikings fan, and he's never tweeted anything like that.
Did he respond to it?
I don't. I'll look.
Yeah, check out his timeline, see if he addressed it.
But yeah, what are you doing, Hank? You gotta get your guy. You need to tweet.
Yeah, you should be the only one that's featured on those.
Like you need to set a reminder for yourself to tweet every single time Liv is playing.
All I know is we would never do this over at PGA Tour Live.
No, we wouldn't.
Yeah, Wells Fargo this week.
Brooks won his 4th event. That's a record, by the way, all-time record. On the Live Tour.
Last tweet from JJM Habs is from 2023 talking about Jaron Hall.
Yep.
Vikings.
So probably not him.
Yeah.
Probably not him that did this. Yeah, it's that's a bad look. It's a bad look when you have to AstroTurf social media. Just cut the segment entirely.
Or just like create a fake app that you're posting it from. There's a million social media apps. You can just be like, this person said this.
Like what?
Who knows if it's Twitter, TikTok, like where they said it from.
What Mohammed bin Salman should do is just literally pay people to tweet about
Hank.
Anyone to tweet about it.
Hank.
You just schedule one right now.
Yeah,
for
you
the next
let
tournament, like loving the action.
Yeah, you
blank.
let Liv down. Because Hank, people don't know this about Hank. He loves Liv so much. We'll be sitting in the gambling cave, and he'll make someone change the TV, and they'll just be like, "Oh, there's a tournament going on in the middle." Like we were watching What were we watching on Thursday? Oh, we were watching
Sixers.
We were watching Game 6, Knicks Sixers, and all of a sudden it looked like a video game popped up on the TV. It was Hank watching Live Golf.
yeah, we've got 6 TVs. If it's on, I'm gonna throw it on.
He actually did that. He took off Bruins Leafs Game 6
because he wanted that to be a loss.
I just wanted it to be a loss.
He didn't
That's
want to
false.
see them win.
That is
Let's
false.
put on Live.
Yeah, so you should really consider tweeting about Liv and get that bag, Hank.
It all worked out in the end.
Did you
Hank.
see
Won a
Phil
Game 7.
Mickelson's threat that he has?
No.
Yeah.
He's pretty much on behalf of everybody else that's on the Live Tour. Phil Mickelson is threatening a boycott of major tournaments if they don't go ahead and make exemptions for the best players on the Live Tour, because those exemptions, they're running out. So if you won a PGA championship 3 years ago, that doesn't necessarily last for a lifetime. I don't know what the different rules are for specific majors, but feels like, what would it look like if just none of us showed up at the next one and all protested? I don't think that Phil ran that by everybody else. I think that's just Phil shooting from the hip.
Carl Anthony Big 3 vibes.
Yeah, he's like,
Brooks,
Bryson,
John Rahm, we're just not going to show up.
all of us. Can you imagine? You couldn't even call that a championship.
I mean, he's trying to make something happen.
Not without Lefty.
I think Phil is just, because he had the whole Live controversy a couple years ago. He's just looking for his next thing.
Well, he kind of enjoyed being the bad guy.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I'll be a fucking bad guy.
Like he bought the leather jacket. He's what is he going to return that leather jacket? He's the bad guy.
He's a bad guy. You can't go back. You can't face turn.
Right. Okay.
Slice it.
Anything else from the sports weekend? It was a great sports weekend. It's an incredible sports weekend. I have a new Who's Back.
We are going to get to the roast of Tom Brady
At the end.
I got another Who's Back too.
Okay. So we've reloaded our Who's Back. Let's do that. Who's Back of the Week brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. There are plenty of chances in life to make things better by choosing chill. Grab every opportunity to choose chill. Then reach for a refreshing Coors Light when the mountains turn blue. It's as cold as the Rockies. Coors Light is a cold lagered, cold filtered, cold package for a smoother finish. When you embrace a chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. Coors Light is mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. We love Coors Light. It's getting to summer season. The playoffs are heating up. Coors Light is the best beer to accompany all those actions. So make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Hank, you'll have some Coors Light you'll have some Coors Light while you're watching the Celtics. Because it'll be chill.
Sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be chill. Okay, Hank, your Who's Back of the Week.
My Who's Back of the Week is Rap Beef.
Yes.
Drake and Kendrick Lamar had a very busy weekend. Drake released a track, Family Matters, Friday night. Kendrick Lamar released a diss track basically 30 minutes after.
Yeah, he gave him no time.
Instant response. And then Kendrick did the back-to-back and dropped another track the next day.
Calling him a pedophile.
Calling his whole crew pedophiles. A lot of bad stuff. Also said that he had an 11-year-old daughter, which people are saying that Drake actually said it. Drake planted it.
Ooh.
And basically caught him in a lie, like put that out there that he has an 11-year-old daughter. Kendrick took the bait, said it.
But does Drake have any sort of receipt for that he planted that? You would think that if you're pulling
said it
sort of like mastermind scheme, that you would have like, here's the evidence of how I planted it, right?
Now I need someone to battle rap PFT and talk about Chris.
Fuck that. Fuck, you don't want that smoke. I'll just put Chris on the track. I'll put Chris on the track and fucking destroy you. But with the pedophile thing on Friday night, when Kendrick responded, said, you've got an 11-year-old daughter plus you're pedophile. Then Drake just posted on Instagram, I'm definitely not the father of an 11-year-old daughter. Did not address the
big one, yeah.
thing.
He also, he said he put out a song tonight, The Heart Part 6, where he said, if I was a pedophile, I'd have already been arrested, which, there's definitely pedophiles.
You never want to say if I was.
No,
Yeah.
he spent like 3/4 of the response just being like, I am not a pedophile. I'm so much not a pedophile. At one point, I think he said, I'm too famous to be a pedophile.
Oh.
Which is, I don't know if Drake reads the news.
No.
If he's much of a news hound.
No.
And studies what happens in modern day politics and entertainment.
Yeah.
No famous pedophiles ever.
Yeah.
He also brought up Millie Bobby Brown by name, even though Kendrick hadn't. That's just like an internet thing that
Oh, so he
kind of said, like, it's weird, like your guys' relationship is weird. What's going on here?
So Kendrick was
Drake-
like, you're a pedophile, and Drake was like, no, I'm not. I'm just friends with Millie Bobby Brown.
Right.
When she was 17.
He was like, it's not, no, that wasn't pedophilia. I just liked her as a friend. Nothing happened.
I did see one guy who's Drake stan be like, all you idiots need to look up the age of consent in Canada, which is
That's
16.
good. That's good. Good defense.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't. That's one thing you don't want to Google. What are you planning vacation?
No, don't do that. All right, so I have a question because I'm admittedly washed, old, but I've seen everyone talking about it, and I've at least tried to keep up.
Also, I'll say quickly before, Drake, his first song he put out Friday had subtitles, which was great.
Oh,
Yeah.
For all rap songs.
Is it?
They should just write letters back to each other. They should just tweet at each other.
So when I know what you're saying, Hank, because it does take you some time to like listen back, rehear every single line. Being able to read it in real time is definitely easier to understand all the like double entendres. But also, isn't that kind of a try hard move to like spell out what you're saying so that people can read it?
I don't know.
Isn't half the fun like digging in on your own and listening back to it, like spelling it out? That's great for people like me that like to listen to Drake on mute and don't actually enjoy his music that much. But doing that feels like you're putting it, like you're really rubbing it in everyone's face, as opposed to letting people do the work for themselves.
As someone who does subtitles for every show I watch, I appreciate it.
Well, it's not Peaky Blinders; it's a diss track.
Well, but it's still hard to follow everything.
That's true.
For me personally, anything. That one line, you're trying to strike a chord and it's probably a minor.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
That was good.
That's good. All right, so I have a
You
question.
should have
for you.
said D sus.
Ooh,
That's another chord.
I have a question for you, and anyone can answer this. I've tried to follow along. Tell me if this is the like too long didn't read for people of my age and stupidity and also washed and not understanding any of this. Essentially, from what I understand, everyone or most people in the rap world kind of don't like Drake, and Kendrick Lamar is just the first craziest, most accomplished person to finally just say it out loud, and everyone's like, yeah, dude, we've been thinking this for a long time.
Well, it started with the Metro Boomin Future album,
Right.
which was basically just a diss album, and that was the first feature. That was the first Kendrick Lamar feature. That kind of broke everything open. But yeah, it seems like everyone's coming out. Rick Ross, all the rappers.
Right. Like, it feels like Drake is losing this, even though there obviously are diehard Drake fans and be like, no, he's doing great. But it feels like Drake is responding to Kendrick Lamar, but Kendrick Lamar is, the way he's dropping these things is basically he's speaking for a lot more people that just haven't said anything to Drake in a long time, which has to be the worst feeling ever, to be like, someone's dropping a diss track at you, and it's essentially talking for a bunch of people, being like, we've been saying this shit behind your back,
Yeah.
and now we're saying it out loud. And then Drake can only come back at Kendrick Lamar, but it's like, wait, does everyone hate me? That's got to suck.
I think Kendrick's like your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Right.
And Drake is the thing that Drake always has over everybody is like, I'm way more successful.
Right.
In terms of money, in terms of charts, in terms of songs that are played in clubs that people listen to. Drake will always point to that. And again, I am very new to this too, so I'm just beginning to wrap my head around the history of the two of these guys going back and forth. But I feel like anytime you make a song that's in response to somebody calling you a pedophile and your response is, nuh-uh, I think you kind of lost.
Right.
And also the smartest person, the real winner of this entire beef is J. Cole. Because J. Cole was in it, and then he went on stage and he was like, no, I'm kind of a pussy, so I don't want to do this. And then
Smart.
everyone was like, this guy's a pussy.
So he's my new GOAT.
He's the GOAT. He's
Yeah.
the GOAT for recognizing that he did not want to be anywhere
involved in this.
Yes.
Is my assessment accurate-ish? That so then if what I'm saying is somewhat accurate, how is anyone saying that Drake is winning?
Just the Drake stands.
Because again, there can't be a worse feeling than having someone drop a diss track against you and essentially be like, the whole world is saying this, but I'm finally the guy who can say it because Kendrick Lamar has enough status, power, crazy enough, all those things to finally say it. And everyone's like, yeah, he's right. You lost.
He lost.
It's basically everyone kind of hates you, and we're finally going to say it.
Well,
that sucks.
The one thing you can point to that Drake did a flawless execution of on Friday night, he just kept calling him short.
Yeah,
and it's a good bar.
That's worse than pedophile.
You can't come back from your short because he has receipts of you being short.
Right.
They're called pictures.
Right.
And no matter what, I could break somebody down, and then if they just respond with, "Yeah, but you're short," I'm like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
How'd he know?
Yeah.
And then you lose.
Kendrick should probably so Drake faked an 11-year-old so that Kendrick would talk about it. Kendrick should fake like a murder or pedophilia so that he'll stop talking about him being short.
It's true. It's way more preferable.
Just get it that way.
Yeah, you're a pedophile. Well, at least I'm not short. That's what Drake should have said.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Max?
It's interesting that's the thing that you took from that.
What?
The short?
Obviously I'm joking about the short thing.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
But it does hurt. But it does hurt.
But you can always say,
we don't actually think being short is worse than being a pedophile, Max.
Is this your first show, Max?
Nope.
Okay.
All right, so how does this end?
Somebody's got to die.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to die, knock on wood.
I knocked on it for you.
I feel like Kendrick's going to release another song, and it's probably going to be, I don't know.
Even more shit that people don't like about Drake?
I hope he keeps doing it. I hope this is now Kendrick Lamar's entire career. Where just like every week he has a new song about Drake being a pedophile.
Is this going to like affect Drake's like legacy, future? It feels like we're getting to the point where people are turning on him. Again, I'm very much not in the know, but it just like reading a little bit of the tea leaves, people are coming out and being like, yeah, what he's saying, everyone has thought this for a long time.
Yeah, but he lost, Pusha T bodied him too back in the day, and that didn't really affect.
So if he just keeps doing hits.
Putting out music,
Yeah.
he's still going to be the biggest guy.
He's going to get an 8-pack. He's going to have even better abs.
He's just not going to have as many features.
He's definitely walking around his house right now not happy.
No.
Very upset.
Yeah.
And it feels like Kendrick's walking around his house being like, I've got him.
Got him.
Well, Drake's whole thing is that Kendrick's manager is actually the father of his child, so that's probably not the best.
Oh, that one
best
hurts.
thing to
That
deal with.
hurts. Yeah, that definitely hurts.
But you can also just lie. That's what's great about rap beefs is you can just make something up, and if
Yeah.
you say it, then everyone's like, "Oh shit, that's not his kid."
Okay. That would be wild if Drake had it, because that was was the Pusha T one when Drake's first child?
You're hiding a child.
Adonis.
Got it. Man.
So that's PMT gets beefy with it.
Yeah.
Also
it-
tough. Yeah, the one of Kendrick's diss tracks was just like an entire verse talking to his child, being like, "Your dad's a piece of shit."
Damn.
Like, I'm sorry, your dad is your dad.
Yeah.
I think there were multiple verses.
Yeah,
saying that dad's a piece
yeah.
of
It was
shit.
like sorry.
It was
one,
each kid.
One was
Yeah.
to each kid, and then one was to his mom, being like, "I'm sorry that your son sucks."
Oh, my God.
It was pretty bad. Again, J. Cole, winner.
Yeah. Winner. And I think I'm going to say Kendrick Lamar is winning right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the song he put out that Drake put out on Friday, he said like, "This will be my last response because I'm going on vacation." So pretty much like out of office.
Oh,
so this
yeah,
most
that's
recent one was
bad.
like an out of office reply that he
And
sent.
yeah, in the last one, didn't he say, like, are we done yet?
Yeah, are we done? I think it's over. I think we can all agree we both won.
Yeah.
Co-winners.
Drake's just waiting for someone to break this fight up.
I mean, the cover art that he had on the most recent one, which is just a picture of Drake's house with all the sex offender tags.
Yeah.
Like you're on the sex offender registry looking at it.
That's tough.
It's pretty bad.
Okay.
Pretty bad.
All right. Well, thank you, Hank. Appreciate it. PFT, your Who's Back?
My who's back of the week is Baby Gronk
Oh, yeah.
because he released his top 30 teams that he might go to. I don't know if he has any actual offers yet. I'm going to guess that he doesn't, right? We
He
can
had
safely
30
say that.
teams.
It's probably way more than 30. It's
Yeah,
probably
he had-
like 60. So we narrowed it down from 60 to 30. And it's just every good football team out there. So Baby Gronk's dad wants to know where you think Baby Gronk's going to go. I could see Baby Gronk going to like an Alabama or a Georgia or a Texas, but his dad just like pays for his tuition and then he tells his son to try to walk on. And then it's like Baby Gronk's first practice.
Yeah.
And he never actually plays football.
Yeah, he just shows up and he's like, Baby Gronk giving water to the tight ends.
I like Georgia Tech made it on there. That's a big dub for Georgia
You
Tech.
got to throw a couple in there. I was
Yeah.
actually expecting like a Vandy.
Yeah.
You always got to throw Vandy in there.
Mhm.
Maybe his grades are good enough.
Yeah, but besides that, yeah, it seems like Georgia Tech, big win for South Carolina being featured on this list too.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. Michigan State.
Yep.
That's good for that program. I mean, if you're Georgia Tech, you should probably offer Baby Gronk a contract,
Yeah, why not?
right? Like that's probably going to be the one that he chooses.
A school should offer him right now.
Nebraska's on there.
Oh, that's good.
That's
Will
good for
will
them.
probably be like, that's worth a couple.
That's my
wins.
guy, yeah.
All right. My Who's Back of the Week is Baseball Umps back again. We had on Saturday the White Sox and the Cardinals played through. They had a 3-hour rain delay to come back for the bottom of the 10th, bases loaded, 2 outs, and the ump saw 4 pitches, including a strike 3 call to end of the game that was not a strike and was essentially like, I want to get the fuck out of here. But they waited 3 hours for the ump to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Umps rule.
Umps are awesome.
Umps rule.
They've had a banner year in umpiring so far.
They really have.
The fast ejections.
They're back. They're
Aaron-
all the way back.
Aaron Boone getting kicked out for something a fan said.
Yeah, it was
Angel Cabrera just doing Angel Cabrera things nonstop.
Yeah, it was
Angel Hernandez.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Cabrera's a
Thinking of the
golfer.
former
Yeah.
I always-
Masters
on
winner.
hell.
On hell.
I always screw that one up. Yeah.
CB Buckner was the name of this.
Yeah.
Was this ump? It ruled. Jake, your Who's Back of the Week?
My who's back of the week is J.J. Watt. He's hinting at a possible return. He said at his charity softball game, I told D'Amico last year, don't call unless you absolutely need it, but if you ever do call, I'll be there. And knows not to call unless he absolutely needs it, but this is the last year I'll tell him that.
Do you think they absolutely needed it against the Ravens?
Maybe.
Maybe. Didn't get the call then. I don't know what's going. Maybe if like Will Anderson gets hurt, they call JJ and he comes in halfway through the season.
I don't know if I like this because it's like he's basically saying that don't call unless I can be the hero.
Yeah, if you need somebody to save you, you
Yeah.
can reach out. JJ hasn't played in a while. I don't think he's going to be that good.
In defense of JJ, so I don't really love the like, oh, I'll do it only if I'm the hero here. But if I were a JJ Watt or a Tom Brady, I would definitely spend 3 or 4 years hinting at comebacks because that's fun.
He said that this is the last year he's going to train to be in shape like that.
That's fun though, to just be like, well, I could,
You know,
just so that people could tell. Like, it's an egocentric move, but I think I think you kind of have to do it if you're that good.
He should have done it with the Steelers last year.
I know.
Filled in for TJ.
Yeah. So he might come back to the Texans.
I guess so.
Maybe what if it's just for literally a one-day contract?
Yeah, retire as a Texan.
It would rock though if he came back for a playoff game and like had 3 sacks.
Wow, then Ravel wouldn't have done that thing for his last game.
Oh, that's true.
Oh yeah,
That's
cut
true.
off all the special needs kids.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Who's back? Let's do our interviews. We got Biz talking hockey, and then we have our great friend Jerry O'Connell, who, I mean, you'll just have to listen because it was all-time Jerry O'Connell.
Talking bing bong.
Bing bong, a lot of ping bong. Before we do that, PFT, you have a couple ads?
Yeah, the show's sponsored by BetterHelp. We all carry around different stressors, some big, some small. When we keep them all bottled up, it can start to affect us negatively. Therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/PMT today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PMT. And now here's Paul Bissonnette.
Okay, we now welcome on one of our favorite guests, recurring guests.
Why'd you hesitate when you said it?
Well, I was gonna say good friend, or like best friend, but I did that for Jerry O'Connell, who's coming on after you. So that felt redundant. It is late. Biz is, for people who say Biz doesn't work, it's 1:40 where he is right now. He just got finished doing Game 7 TNT.
Yeah, staring at tits. I was staring at tits behind the Dallas Stars head coach all night. You guys see those?
Yeah,
See
There's
those?
some honkers.
those were
titties?
yeah, those are nice tits. And then you did Chicklets. Go listen to Chicklets. And now you're doing this with us. I guess I wanted to start with your Wonderwall, Jacob Wall.
'Cause after all, you're my Joseph.
Yeah.
Wall.
Sorry. Do you think you cursed the Leafs singing
Yes.
that song before Game 7 and then having him not play in Game 7? And also, how are you feeling as a Leafs fan? Yet again, you look like a fool, and your season, it just evaporates in the most embarrassing, sad fashion.
Yes, I feel like I cursed them. I feel like I'm a mush. I feel like I should separate myself from the team, and then maybe they'll have some success. But now I say that they haven't had much success for a very, very, very long time, including against the Boston Bruins, who they haven't beat in a playoff series since 1959.
Whew.
It's crazy because Toronto's also the most valuable franchise. So not to say they can just go spend more money on the cap, but they have all these resources and try to make themselves better. And they just haven't been able to find a way to do it. And they're cursed.
Yeah, and the goalie getting hurt. Did he actually get hurt in the last 0.1 second of Game 6?
They haven't came out and announced it, but I would assume that's where he injured himself, which is crazy because, like, what if they don't go up 2-0? Then maybe they don't get sloppy in the last 15 seconds to allow an easy backdoor play, and then maybe he's not sprawling out to try to preserve the shutout. Well, in that case, he still would have, but I don't think they would have been as lackadaisical is the word.
Yep,
It was
that is the word.
It was 6-on-5 in the dying minute, and it felt like they were kind of fucking around a little bit because William Nylander had made it 2-0.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was 1-0, you have to bear down. You got to block shots and stay in the lane where there probably would have been a defenseman there. So just the fact that they went up 2 and then broke down defensively on the 6-on-5, he has to sprawl out. He must have pulled something. Not a word was talked about this, by the way. And then all of a sudden, an hour and a half before puck drop, Merles it comes in our group text and says, Wool's not playing. I just heard from an agent that he pulled something and got injured in Game 6. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, Murr. You stir in the pot. So he was pretty adamant about it. So I took to Twitter and I said, I just heard the worst fucking rumor going, but I'm not even going to give it the oxygen just to kind of stir it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all of a sudden, all these insiders start texting me. They're like, you heard about Wall? And I'm like, they just haven't dropped the bomb yet because they haven't gotten the clearance. So as soon as they come out for warm-up is the first guy would have been Samsonov, where people would have been like, "What the fuck is Joseph Wall? Why isn't Wall walking out of the tunnel?" But now, because I'm tweeting all that, they probably got pressure. And then Elliot Friedman finally drops the bomb that all three goalies were on the first bus for the Toronto Maple Leafs to dress and potentially take warm up. So the minute that hit the airways, all of a sudden people became aware that their starting goalie, who played out of his mind and who has ice in his veins, was not going to play game 7 after that fucking sprawl out where the shutout was broke with 0.01 seconds left.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
That's how long we're talking here. But considering game 7 played out the way it did, it wasn't a goaltending issue. It was one big dog in particular, in my opinion, laying a big egg, who makes $11 million, and then obviously all the other fucking soap opera bullshit that went on through the first round with the Toronto Maple Leafs. William Nylander, who is a 100-point player for the Toronto Maple Leafs, plays all 82 games coming into playoffs. All of a sudden, he's not available for game 1. He missed the first 3 games of the series because I guess he got like hit a certain way and he was dealing with like migraines and shit and he couldn't see properly. So the fact that he didn't sit out the last couple games after what had happened just to be cautious.
Right.
No, played the full 82. He was also trying to get his 100 point. He ended up with 99. And also Austin Matthews was on the 70 goal chase, which hasn't happened in how many other years. So I felt like some of maybe the personal achievements were taking priority at the end, which you don't want. Anyway, they lose William Nylander first 3 games, and then all of a sudden he's back game 4. All right, awesome. Marner's been playing like shit. He's going to fucking wake up. We got Willie back. We got Austin Matthews, obviously. And then halfway through that game, Austin Matthews down the tunnel. The 69 goal scorer, giggity, this whole season is now down the tunnel. And then he misses the next 2 games because I think that he ended up, they haven't came out with it yet, but it looked like he fell down with McAvoy and probably a first or second degree MCL knee sprain. So he ended up playing game 7, but he came through with a big assist. William Nylander got the goal. When William Nylander played, he played great, but Mitch Marner didn't show up. He makes too much money. I think he's gone, and I think that they might let the coach go. So I know I just went long-winded about this shit show, but they should have. I think if they're fully healthy the whole series, they win it. And now it's just going to be a fucking gong show.
And you talked about the 2-0 lead. It's interesting because we've always said on the show 2-0 most dangerous lead in hockey. That's what you always say growing up. I think Weeksy said this. He said that 3-1 was actually the most dangerous lead. So in your opinion, what's worse?
Well, I'm you motherfucker. You're trying to trick me.
No.
Did 2 goals. You're trying to say is like a 2-0 lead better than having a 3-1 lead?
Yeah, which is the most dangerous lead?
They're both 2 goals. I thought you were trying to fuck with me there. I would probably say the 3-1 because the other team already has a cookie. Like maybe their offensive player already got one, so they're feeling it. Whereas 2-0, like everybody's dry. Nobody's got any confidence built up. So I like the 3-1. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 3-1 is a worse lead to have.
Okay, so what last thing on the Leafs, because I want to talk about some other series, and we have the second round now fully set. What do you just as a Leafs fan, you just expect this every year? Like, is there any fix? Is there ever going to be a different outcome?
Yeah, I think that they have to build for hockey playoffs. Any team that's in the playoffs right now, Big Cat, you look at like how their back end's built and how deep their forward lines are. Like at the end of the day, buddy, I don't know if there's like a soccer team or a basketball team to compare it to, but we're in a hard cap system and they got 4 guys who are making a lot of fucking money.
Right.
And one of them is John Tavares. He was the captain they brought back and got back from the Islanders. Remember that was big drama.
Yeah, he's sleeping in the in the Maple Leafs bed.
Yeah, that was a picture that came out, but he's from Toronto. He wanted to play for the Leafs, and he didn't tell the Islanders at the end of his contract that he wanted to move on. He's like, no, and they assumed he was going to stay. Long story short, they signed him as a free agent, and he's making $11 million. I think on a Stanley Cup team, he's a third-line center. So they got these 4 guys making half of what the cap is, and buddy, how many times do you think they scored 3 goals this series? And they're known as this offensive team with these fucking offensive powerhouses.
Right.
Hockey gets hard in playoffs. You need that
Ooh.
money to spend on big defensemen who are going to fucking hold people away from your net. It's a physical game. And these guys fizzle out every fucking time come playoffs.
Yeah.
One fucking power play goal, Big Cat.
That's crazy.
One in 23 to 25 chances.
The Oilers do that rolling out of bed.
Bro, the fucking Oilers could send 4 guys out there and have a better power play. The Oilers over the first round series against the LA Kings the last 3 years have had a 50% power play.
That's insane.
50% clip rate. Best power play playoff or best playoff power play we've ever seen.
That's
no
insane. So
lethal.
Lethal. So all right. So
talking about it. You got Shaq Hyman, the net front guy in the power play for the Oilers. Shaq Hyman, baby.
The other Game 7 we watched, and I gave you guys credit earlier in the show that we just taped, because you and Witt said this. They're like, the Knights and the Stars could both win the Stanley Cup, but they have to play each other in the first round. It's going to be a war. And it was a war. It looked like it was going to be easy for the Knights, and it was a war, and the Stars end up winning. So two questions. One is, how is this going to be like for the Stars in the next round? Was that a beat-up series where it's going to be tough against a team like the Avalanche? And then I also want you to explain to us your rivalry with the Glassbanger.
All right, let's go into the hockey first, and then we'll talk about Glassbanger.
Okay, I love it.
Dallas, yes, that's going to take a lot of wind out of their sails. That was a big boy series. Both teams built to win the Stanley Cup. And then Vegas even loaded up at the deadline. I call them the cap circumcisers because that Mark Stone, their captain, who's an unreal playoff player, he's their heart and soul guy, good 200-foot game, crafty in front of the net, where going to the net front and taking punishment, that's where you're going to score your goals come playoff time. He's the last 3 years went on long-term IR.
Mm-hmm.
So then that money doesn't count against the cap for the end of the season. So they're able to go make these deadline moves to add these big pieces. So by the time the playoffs roll around, they got like $100 to over $100 million in cap money on the ice. But because they snuck them in with the LTIR money, anyway, they found a way to manipulate the system. And it just so happens that Mark Stone ended up getting injured on the same time the last few years, and then boom, game 1, he's ready to go for playoffs. So anyway, so Dallas had to go up against these guys who ended up getting the 8th seed. Dallas had home ice. They dropped the first 2 games of the series to the defending Stanley Cup champions, who are built like a wagon. They go on the road, and then they ended up winning the next 3. So at the end of the day, they had to fucking power through this very physical series where it was hard to get to the net front, hard to create anything. And they found a way to grind through it with a few young studs in their lineup, the Stankhoven kid. And then I think a superstar has been born in Wyatt Johnson. He's just this young kid on an entry-level contract, and I think that he helped them pull through the series. He ended up getting a clutch one in Game 7, but now they got to go face Colorado. I got Dallas in 7 again, but that's why I don't think Dallas, who's a Stanley Cup team, can get to the finals, because they got to go through the juggernaut, which was the Vegas Golden Knights. They squeak one out 2-1 in Game 7. Now they got to go against the high-flying offense of the Colorado Avalanche, whose third line's playing unbelievable. Their goaltenders figured out. They got an awesome back end with Cale Makar, the modern day Bobby Orr, and then Nathan McKinnon. This guy is he's worth the price of admission, boys. Yep. I think that he's just as exciting to watch as McDavid. And anytime they're on the ice, even if you don't know the game, you're like, that guy's just better than everyone. Why does he just kind of take it from his own end and go to the other end and just do whatever the fuck he wants? And it's going to be an unreal series against Dallas, well-earned, who are built strong in every position. They're deep, but it's going to be a wagon of a series too.
So what about the Glassbanger, though?
He's just this obnoxious fan who, when the play is in the end, like he was on ESPN, he has this saying, a sign that's a big white sign that says "Bang" on it, and he holds it up against the glass, and he stands up, and he's in a full white suit, and if the play comes near him, he'll start fucking body checking the glass, and he bangs on the glass, and there's other people behind him in the section that are trying to enjoy the game, and every time it's going on, he's making it about him. He's the glass.
He's a pigeon.
it's pigeon behavior. Like the
Yeah.
fans around him don't like it, and then he brings a hooker to every game, brand new hooker. Like last game, game 5, I think he brought a girl $9K. He said he spent on it.
I saw that tweet.
He'll come on your podcast and talk about
Listen,
it.
we would never platform
No,
a guy that sits in the front row and brings prostitutes to games. It makes it all about himself. That's not what part of my take.
So that's why I'm going after him. But maybe they gain steam from him. Maybe he's that fan that they like, and he's in the away goalie. Maybe he's distracting the away goalies.
Yeah.
So some people have strong opinions about him. Other people, see my side of it. But I don't know. It's just crazy to me. And yeah.
I mean, I love the rivalry. You go back and forth with them. I just see it. It's just like, it's one of those things you click on the tweets to see where it started, and you'll just go back like 10 tweets. And you're just like, they've been fighting all day.
Yeah, there's allegations that I think you made that he doesn't actually pay for his tickets. Do we know about
No,
that?
he's a trust fund baby. So there's the old man seats. So he's spending all his old man money bringing prostitutes to games, spending $9K a pop, and then tweeting me out pictures with her like with a middle finger in her mouth at me like after the game saying,
Honestly,
suck it, bitch.
I respect both sides in this beef.
It's a great rivalry.
It is.
It's a great rivalry. All right, so now that we got it set, let's start with the West. We get the Final Four in the West. Who do you have coming out? And like you watch every single game. You're plugged in. You're on TV. You're doing a great job. What has been like the surprising X factor so far? You can name any of the 4 teams.
So I think that Dallas is going to come out of that series we just talked about with Colorado, and then I think that Edmonton is going to steamroll Vancouver, where Vancouver's lost their starting goaltender Thatcher Demko, who's an all-star. I talked to another goalie guy, Brian Boucher, and he compared him to like the McDavid of goalies, of how big he is and how he can move so athletically. But he pulled something which I'm hearing was in the last 10 seconds of a game where they'd already won. So kind of similar to what we just talked about with Joseph Wall. He's probably going to miss this next round. Maybe he's going to be back halfway through. Another one of Vancouver's stars is not playing very well. He's kind of buckling under the pressure of playoffs, much like who I talked about on with the Leafs. And they just don't have enough weapons to go against Edmonton. Edmonton is their power play is ridiculous. They have solid D. Their goaltender is very competent. But then their first 2 lines, like right now, they've separated Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. And Draisaitl is actually performing just as good as McDavid. Like he's actually better in playoffs. Not only his numbers show that, but when you watch him out there, it's just sheer dominance. So they have 2 first lines right now going full head of steam, and Vancouver's only got 1, and that other guy, it's been a disappearing act. And I also like their bottom 2 lines better than Vancouver's. So I think it's going to be a 5-game series, and then it's going to be McDavid against McKinnon again.
Wait,
round 2.
No, you said the Stars are going to win.
Or sorry, if that ends up happening. If that ends up happening.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
But now there's other people who are picking Colorado to win that series.
Right.
Like they might even be statistically favored in the series, but Dallas has home ice, and that's why I went with Dallas in 7.
Yeah.
Okay. So Edmonton is the best chance for the Cup to come home to Canada.
It is, and they also have. We talked about the punishment you take, especially going against now I got to go against Vegas, now Colorado. They breezed by LA 5 games, and I think they're going to do 5 games against Vancouver. Way easier matchup than any of those 2 other teams.
They'll be rested.
And then I just think I think that Edmonton.
Oh, your mic just went out. Wait. Or was that mine? No.
I heard it too. Yeah.
I'm back.
Yep, you're back. You're back. We'll keep that in. That just shows how gritty you are right now.
But because of that path, and I think that Edmonton moves on. I think that's awesome for Canada, and that easy path helps.
Yeah. And then out of the East, the Rangers look like they're unstoppable right now. I don't know how much of it was the cap stinking in the first round, but game 1 against Carolina, their power play looks just as good as Edmonton. They look like it's insane. I think they scored in like 10 seconds on a power play today. It just seemed too easy for them.
nice set plays. Their power play was and penalty kill were lethal all season. I want to say they were top 5 in both categories. And Laviolette has really taught them how to adapt to what the game is and to be way better defensively, where they outnumber you on pucks. They got big outside of Adam Fox, who's a stud. He's like a little magician out there. He helps run their power play. Like he's a power play one guy. And when the puck goes to him at the point, it doesn't go to die. It goes to another quality play being made. The other 5 guys are just these big brutes, kind of like we talked about with Vegas, with Dallas, with like Florida, who's a juggernaut too. They can box you out of the net front, let Shesterkin see his business. And if Shesterkin's seeing it, he's stopping it, and he's out of his mind in his own right. He's one of the best goalies in the world, this Russian kid, Igor Shesterkin. They love him. They love him there.
So they're not Fugazis this year is what you're saying.
They're not. No, they're the for realsies. I think they're going to beat Carolina in 6 games. And they're, like we talked about, their offensive movement is really nice, and it matches well and bodes well against Carolina, who they're playing against, who they play man-on-man defense. One of the only teams in the league, if not the only team, to play true man-on-man. So basically you get in the D zone and you lock up with your guy. So all of them are so athletic, and they're long, and they're good with their sticks, and they all time themselves properly with the other guys. They are so good in their D zone. They allowed a league low average 26 shots against per game, unreal PK. But the way that the New York Rangers move and how they kind of pick plays, and they're able to create separation and skillful enough where they can make a move and beat a guy, I think that plays well against the Carolina Hurricanes. So they got them in a lot of different areas. Power play, their penalty kill, which scored 2 goals in itself against your fucking Capitals, that AHL team. Mm-hmm. And they just have everything going for them. I think that they're a stronger team, and they got bigger weapons, and Carolina's got to win game 2. If not, because they already dropped game 1.
Yep.
And also Anderson let in that shaky goal. So the goaltending edge definitely goes to the Rangers. And then going to that other series, if you guys want to transfer over.
Yeah.
Long series for Boston. Florida is built to win a Stanley Cup. They got goaltending. Their D are awesome. They're deep. They got unreal scoring, and they're physical too. So I think they'll probably beat up on Boston. I actually had it going to 7 just to give Boston the credit, but Boston's just not deep enough down the middle. They got Charlie Coyle and the Zaka. None of them had a goal in the first series, and Max Domi got put at center ice, and he was fucking beating them on draws like crazy. So the centerman for Florida, I think, will eat those guys up. And and then it'll be Florida against New York. I got Florida, and I don't need to go into why.
Wow.
Okay.
I like that.
And then what about the Stanley Cup?
So I think that it will be Edmonton, Florida. That would be my guess.
Is that the longest? Is that the longest flight?
Canucks probably.
Yeah,
no,
Canucks.
it would be Canucks.
But Edmonton have to go. Well, we shouldn't do geography with you.
No, don't do that.
Is Florida the South?
Florida's the South, boys.
Okay.
I think Florida's just Florida.
Is Vancouver the South?
No, Vancouver's that's Pacific Northwest.
But it's the south of Canada.
I think no.
Yeah, it's
literally on the border.
As far as Toronto's probably south.
All of it's on the border.
Yeah,
true.
There's no Northerners in Canada, right?
Hey, were you
Edmonton
just
and
fucking
Calgary.
around, or were you being serious? That was kind of a biz comment, Big Cat.
Well, I mean, Edmonton and Calgary aren't.
So I live in the summer, like I'll eventually retire in Victoria, and that's actually crosses over. So I'd be curious to know if Victoria is the lowest point of Canada.
Wait.
So you consider it the southern tip.
Is that is it just all NHL players there?
There are. Jamie Ben's from there, who plays for the Dallas Stars. Tyson Barrie is from there.
No, but I'm saying like in the summer. Like, is it just everyone goes there?
No, Vancouver would be more of the hot spot. That's where I do
Mm-hmm.
hang out more of my time now. But Victoria will be where I retire. It's a little bit quieter pace. I got the golf club there. I'm a pretty simple guy.
Well, like in NBA terms, when a team gets bounced, it's like, okay, Cancun on 3. See you guys in Mexico.
That's what we used to do. We used to go on an end of the year trip, all the single guys. It was awesome.
Was it
You could
Cancun?
No, I've never been to Cancun. I would do a Cabo.
Yeah.
Cabo is one.
Yeah.
I like going there. It was a quick flight. Vegas was kind of my spot because it was Phoenix, Vegas, and I was in my Vegas days. I was obnoxious, still am, but really obnoxious. Like
Yeah.
going to clubs and like doing bottle service and all that shit.
What-
It's I guess all kids maybe do it at least this time or in this stage, that stage in their life. but
Yeah. You're a busy guy, so we understand you probably aren't listening to PMT right now. But we did have Yans on Friday.
he's the best.
Would you like to talk about a story he told?
About the one where I went and met the girl and she had the boyfriend there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened?
I mean, I hope I could do it justice retelling it. I did so on the pot. Like a lot of this time, I'm trying to process it, and I got to talk about it like the next day, where I'm like, "Yo, I just went to like have a drink with a girl, and next thing you know, I thought like maybe her fucking boyfriend was gonna have a gun to my head." Like you're just trying to go through every scenario in your brain. So I'd been like, I'd like followed this girl on Instagram, and we'd been talking a little bit, and like we exchanged numbers, and we've been communicating for 6 months. Nothing back and forth. I'm a horrible texter to begin with, but kind of like, hey, like I might be coming to Florida soon. Like, let's get together. And like, oh, okay, cool. I think we'd FaceTimed a couple times. So like, you kind of run it through your crazy text. She wasn't hitting me up all the time either. Like she wasn't like she would never be like, hey, you're not paying attention to me. So anyway, 6 months to go by, I finally go down there to film Yandling Business, a show that
It's a
we
good
do
name.
for TNT. Yeah, fun. And I get to hang out with Yans. We get to do it with Matthew Kachuk. And I was going to invite her to dinner, but I didn't. And I told them about, no, she's not going to come, but I'm going to go meet her later for a drink. So finally she's like, okay, here's the pin drop. I'm at the Tin Roof. And after I was done having dinner with them, I went and met this girl, and I walked in, didn't see her at first. I go to the bathroom, I come back over, and I can see her at the bar, and I walk over, I say, hey, how you doing? And then she's like hand in hand with this guy. Like I kind of didn't catch it as early as maybe I should have. And I was like, oh, hey. And you could tell the look on his face. I look back to her. I'm like, oh, like, is this your boyfriend? And she, oh, no. And then like he walks away. We're getting a water, and I'm like, hey, like you were just holding hands with the guy. Like if it's your boyfriend, like you like, all good. And she's like, no. So we go outside. I sit down, and I was like, hey, listen, you don't owe me anything. Like if that's your boyfriend, like we could all just chill, and I can leave soon. And then she's like, no. He walks over, and I'm like kind of stunned again. And I'm like, is this your girlfriend? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, so they start kind of talking, and then we kind of start making small talk, and then it's so uncomfortable. My heart's racing like crazy. And he walks away, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, it's pretty bizarre when one person's saying that you're dating and the other isn't. Like, what am I getting myself into here? And then she goes, we're not dating, like, and kind of starts making some excuse. And then like after a few more minutes, he walks back over. I get talking with the table beside me because I'm like, hi, and like this is an insane situation. And she like walks off with him.
Yeah.
And just like, and then like I just kind of sat there and finished the rest of my joint, and then walked out to get an Uber. And then as I'm waiting for my Uber, they both walked by, and I was like hand in hand, like out of the bar, like probably to go fuck. And I'm like, hey, all right, see you later, guys. Have a great night. Good meeting you. And then just get in my cab and go home.
It might just be like a kinky thing that they have where she wants to make him jealous, so she hits Biz up, and then next thing you know, the romance is rekindled.
That's one theory.
Yeah.
Somebody said that maybe it was like one of those ones where the guy wants to be in the corner cranking it off while you're teeing off on his old lady, and then like when the guy gets there, they call the audible or something. And
Yeah. Yeah, like,
maybe
yeah,
they-
we don't want, like you didn't
like,
meet the swinger, yeah.
Yeah, he's a lot better looking on TV, and I could see the bulge in his pants, and I don't look impressed. Then what were the other theories? Like that I thought maybe that he had showed up, like unbeknownst in the midst of my travel, where she got jammed up, where maybe he had to like find my phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And, like, came over, and it's just like, oh shit, like perfect storm. But yeah, there were tons of theories going around about as to how I walked myself into this. But like, I guess it's like, well, then don't go fucking meeting girls on Instagram.
Yeah.
That'd be
No, come on.
But I don't go out a lot anymore. I got this Raya app fired up. There's some good looking girls on there, but I just why are you laughing?
Because you talk about Raya every time we hang out.
Yeah, well, and also you have.
What do you mean? When did we last hang out? And when did we last talk about it?
You were talking about Raya last time you were in the office.
Yeah.
You're like, are you?
Well,
signed
you
up?
probably asked me what you got going on. I'm probably like, oh, later I'm going to meet up with a riot.
Yeah.
And you got me trying to do detective work for you.
Oh my God, that girl got me going. The Cheeks, Miss Cheeks from the Rough and Rowdy. What do you call it?
Biz texted me a screenshot of a Rough and Rowdy ring girl. He's like, find her for me. I was like, dude, I don't know.
Well,
I
just
tried.
thought
I
maybe-
texted.
Well,
I made a text. I was like,
you guys are co-workers, so
No.
I figured maybe you guys would have interacted. Oh
Sandy
yeah, you're not
Cheeks, if
saying
you're-
what's up to Sandy Cheeks.
It's Sandy Cheeks. If you're listening, Biz would like to take you out on a date. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, but I was like, and then the best was you texted me
did
like,
she win the competition of best ring girl?
I think she did, but then like
You think?
3 days
Her
after,
arse was a joke.
3 days
That
after,
thing was a joke.
3 days after you text me out of the blue, you go, anything on this?
Yeah, yeah. I'll give her half my shit.
Oh fuck, Biz, you're the best. All right, I got one last question because it is late.
That's it. I kind of like chatting with you.
All right,
boys.
we can keep chatting.
I got another question
yeah,
for you.
let's keep chatting. I didn't want
Who's
to.
been the
210.
best ring girl? Who's the goat ring girl for Rough and Rowdy?
Sandy Cheeks is up there.
She's on the Mount Rushmore of
Yeah.
Hot Wheels has fought and been a ring girl.
Yeah,
who?
Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels.
Who's that?
She does both. She's a ring girl and then she fights, and
Okay.
she beats the fuck out of people.
No shit. Hey,
Yeah.
wow. We call those in hockey the Swiss Army knives.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking guy kills penalties. He plays power play.
Yeah.
Guy blocks shots. He wins the wall battles. The guy does it all. The Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, she's the goat. I want to ask you though about body checking Shaq when you put him into the wall in the TNT studio.
Yeah.
Did he know that was coming?
Yeah. Shaq Hyman knew that was coming. I told him, don't be skating through my neutral zone, or I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna clog you up like the Dallas Stars are gonna clog you up, buddy.
Because I was impressed when you checked him. He looked at you like that was harder than I thought it was going to be.
He said he asked me, go, hey, we're gonna do a little video here, and I said, you want me coming through the middle? Put you right through the gauntlet, Shaq. And I think that we broke a few studs in the wall, and then the ceiling started breaking. So he's a big man. I think Hank was in the shitter, and then he felt this big thing. He thought there was an earthquake at the studio.
What? Hey. How pissed are people going to be if the Blackhawks win the lottery on Tuesday night?
Oh my God! I actually hope they do
I
for
do.
that reason. I like the Patriots dynasty. Like I loved how everybody was Deflategate, like people lose it. I don't care that much. I care more about the script writers in the NHL continuing to hit this out of the park, because it was an insane regular season for hockey.
Right.
Like the amount of, I think there was 8 teams down the stretch fighting for the President's Trophy, like all these crazy records that had not been broken or done in a while, like Kucherov and McDavid hitting 100 assists, and then all the off-ice shit, like the fucking, like you name it. Every 2 weeks there was something going on. We kicked it off. We kicked it off with the Babcock stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, unreal quote from Jim Montgomery after they won Game 7. He said that he got a call from, I forget who, as like a pep talk, and then Babcock as well to give him advice about how to go. Babcock was the coach who got fired. And he used to coach the Leafs. So he must.
Man.
They were talking on the phone. He was getting like intel from. So I said, well, I ended Babcock's season and then he helped end mine. So I guess we're even.
Yeah.
Who would you say is the best coach that's still around in these playoffs?
Oh God, it's a great question.
Great question.
Thank you.
You guys always ask great questions.
Thanks.
And I appreciate you guys allowing me to be long-winded early about describing these teams, right? Because I bet you a lot of your listeners don't know fuck all about hockey. So I try to get in the weeds about what we talk about, how they win and how to do it. Coaches, Paul Maurice with Florida, he's like a fucking poet. Like every time he hits the desk, like it's like he just nails it. He's so well spoken. He knows how to like manage his group, and he's a good puppeteer, and he's good with challenging their mentals, like knowing what buttons to push and when, and how to motivate the group and how to use the media to do so. I think Jim Montgomery is a great coach. I think it was wild to see such a good coach. I think as far as winning percentage in your first 2 seasons with a team, his might be the best ever with Boston, and how much they like him and respect him in the locker room, and how he's, able to motivate them. They lost their 2 best centers and still like almost won their division and finished with well over 100 points this year. But he almost cost it against the like he almost lost to the Leafs in that 3-1 fashion again. He could have easily just been fired next week, where now he's off to the second round. But he's a good coach. Pete DeBoer, who just won for Dallas, is 8-0 in game sevens in the Stanley Cup playoffs. 8-0, buddy. This guy is as cool as a cucumber. I actually lost to him in junior in the second round when I was playing with the Owen Sound Attack. He went on to win, I believe, a couple OHL championships, but Memorial Cup with Mike Richards as a captain with the Kitchener Rangers. And he's always had the same assistant coach, Spotter. So they've worked well together where they've gotten to the NHL. Here's another crazy fucking one for you. I want to say every game 7 that the Vegas Golden Knights have been a part of, he's been involved in, because he was with them when they first started, and then he got axed, which I thought was a bad call. They fired him too early. And then he was in San Jose, or maybe he was in San Jose first. I might be getting the teams wrong, but he was involved against the series against the Vegas Golden Knights. And then now that he's in Dallas, he was with them against them again.
Wow.
But he's survived all these crazy game 7s, and he's 8-0, and he's had some amazing groups. And he's just an unreal coach. He's just never won his cup. He's never got his cup. So he hasn't ever. He's got to. I feel like he deserves it, and I feel like, hey, it could be his year with that group that he has. Knobloch's a young coach who doesn't have any NHL experience with the Edmonton Oilers, but it was McDavid's junior coach. So when all that drama was happening at the beginning of the year, all of a sudden they fire their coach and then they bring in his junior coach. Like, it kind of put him in a bad spot where maybe he did have something to do with it and had a say in it, but he said that he didn't. But everyone's like, oh yeah, the best player in the world's junior coach gets hired with no NHL experience and you didn't. But since then, he had the best record in the NHL to finish the season, and he's handled himself awesome with adjustments that he's made. So he's kind of this new young blood head coach.
It's very LeBron of him.
What do you mean?
I mean, LeBron just like handpicks coaches. Like, he'll get a coach fired and then bring in a new one.
I think that their GM there, oh God, Biz, think of it. He was with the Detroit Red Wings forever.
You got this. Steve Yzerman.
No. He's there now.
I know.
Sergei Fedorov.
Mike Babcock.
No.
Is it Ken Holland?
Ken Holland.
Yeah.
So he won all those cups as a GM with I'll tell you a cool story about ask me about the Dallas Scouts after. But he's over in Edmonton now because he's already formed these unbelievable groups and knows what it takes. So I feel like he's done a good job of picking McDavid's brain from not too much. Like, McDavid ain't running show, but understanding what they need in order to win.
Yeah.
I think he's done a good job of communicating with them. So he's done some of the trades and moves that he's made too, like bringing over Ekholm, and how he got Evander Kane, who's a big piece. He's only making I think $4.5 million. It was a risk bringing him in. Brought in Corey Perry. So love him. But like, this is all NHL drama shit, where when he was having all of his success in Detroit, I think contract time came up for the Detroit scouting staff, who had been pulling diamonds out of their ass in these late rounds, where they were getting these generational players like Datsuk, Zetterberg. The list goes on of deep picks that they got that went on to be Hall of Famers and generational talent, where contract time was up, and I don't think they paid him, or they weren't offering the scouts what they were worth based on how they were finding them fucking gems.
Right.
So boom, they came back. I mean, think eventually with an offer, and they said too bad, too late. And he went over to they all went over to Dallas with Jim Nill, and Dallas drafting is fucking unbelievable. They picked off Ottinger, Robertson, and Heiskanen in the same fucking draft in the first 35 picks. Boom, boom, boom. They got fucking Wyatt Johnson. Boom. They got this Stankoven kid. Boom. They don't fucking miss these guys. Thomas Harley out of nowhere. I think he's like a 5th rounder. Boom, another one. All guys in their lineup. So I just love the behind the weed shit of finding out. I don't dig for it. I'm just kind of the goof who like now, because I got like the podcast, people that kind of just open up and tell me these stories where I'm like, what? That's kind of crazy. Why wouldn't he just have paid him? Like he was picking them off all these gems. Like now Jim Nill's getting all these treats where in a hard cap era, having guys on entry level deals making 900 grand playing like Wyatt Johnson, that's how you win cups. Look at when Chicago did it when they had Patty Kane and Taves on. That's how they got their first one.
Yeah.
I think those guys were still on entry level.
Yeah. And no, I mean, what you're saying is like it is the interesting part of sports. The construction of a championship team is awesome to watch.
Everything. So many dynamics. It's crazy how hard it is to win.
Yeah.
And there's so many talented people in hockey, and that's what makes it awesome. And as far as all the other coaches to have gotten where they got to now, like Rob Brindamore in Carolina, he won a Stanley Cup as a player. And when I say that this guy didn't cheat the game, he won't even eat a carb. He's like the guy from Globo Gym. Like, he shows up every day from like in a military sense. He did as a player and he does it as a coach, and he's instilled such a winning culture in Carolina that it bleeds through his players. It's wild how teams take on the identity of their coach. And I think that from what I'm hearing behind the scenes, Ron Francis, who I think he won a cup with in Carolina and he's a Hall of Famer, he went to Seattle. I heard that they were trying to pick him off because Carolina is known as a bit of a cheap organization, and a head coach like Rob Brindamore would make let's say Berube doesn't sign with the Leafs. I bet you they'd be prepared to pay him $5.5, $6 million a year.
Whew.
So I heard that as a head coach, and they woo.
Yeah.
Pay the scouts.
Pay the scouts.
So there was rumors that he was going to pick him off in Seattle, and I think those have been shot down because basically it's coming to a point where Carolina is going to hand over whatever he kind of wants, and they should. They'd be idiots not to. So the list kind of goes on with these awesome head coaches.
Yeah.
And to Rick Tocchet. Rick Tocchet was on the panel with me with TNT. I can't forget my boy Rick Tocchet. That was a shattered culture in Canuck land, and they have these they had good pieces. So he got in there at the end of last year and turned them in from a non-playoff team and figured out the issues, and bringing in other amazing coaches like Adam Foote, who won a Stanley Cup with Colorado. He's his D coach. He's got Mike Yeo there, who's been around a long time. He's got the Sedin brothers helping out, as well as Sergei Gonchar. So he assembled this awesome staff to come in and help work with all these players and fix all these problems. And they went on to win the Pacific Division. Now they're off to the second round. But they're going up against McDavid and a juggernaut in the Oilers. I don't think they're going to beat him, but he did a masterful job in helping reestablish the culture as a head coach in such a short amount of time. And he's going to win the Jack Adams, in my opinion, and should. For how he went and fixed the problem to win a division that has Vegas in it and Edmonton in it.
Yeah.
So I think it was the second hardest division to win, and he won it. And it's a reason that they got an easier opponent in the first round, and he did a great job in the first round as coach. And I think he's going to win Coach of the Year. I'm glad I didn't forget my boy. And he's best boys with Wayno, and he helped kind of with the friendship. And they extended their arms to me, and I feel forever indebted to be able to like work on the panel and get to have work with them, and then hear all these incredible behind the scenes crazy stories of how it all works and how it all worked in the past.
Yeah. Biz, what is a Canuck?
Well, they got it's like a whale on the crest, but I think like lingo, it's just like a Canadian. Oh, there's a Canuck. Oh, he's a Canuck.
Yeah. Canuck.
Although not to be insensitive to like Aboriginal, like, or what's the term, the proper
Indigenous.
term now? Indigenous community, it might be a word from their community because their logo does have an indigenous ties to it.
Got it.
I believe. I don't want to get it dead wrong. That's more of a research question for Jake.
All right, last question, Biz, and you are the best for doing this. 2:30 where you are right now. So rollback question to RHO.
You know what though? I'm so happy right now because I get to fly home for 3 days, and I'm gonna go see my dog Lloyd, and I get to unplug a little bit, man.
Yeah.
We're always, I mean, look at you guys. You're dialed in all the time.
So
on your phones.
Shout out. Roback, shout out us. Roback question, RHOBACK.com, promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase. Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts, also very comfortable shirts. Roback.com, promo code TAKE. All right, my last question was a quick two-parter. One, did Whit podcast tonight?
Whit podcasted. And
Okay, good, because he just had a baby today.
I was just going to bring that up. Congratulations to Whit, man.
I just wanted to make sure. He's hockey tough because I podcasted the day my kids were born.
Yeah, I mean, yes, he's a beauty. He was unbelievable. He had tons of energy, and he only had 2 hours of sleep. He's a dog. He's a dog like you, bud.
And then the last question, we do a thing during the playoffs on this podcast. We have a period of the week. Do you have a nominee for period of the week? I would say the third period in the Leafs Bruins game 7 was my period of the week, but you watched the most hockey.
I had overtime in that game.
You had overtime as your period of the week. So what's your period of the week?
As in what I thought the best period was?
Yeah, but best period in the entire week.
Yeah, I would probably say Boston, Toronto, third period.
Okay.
Both teams scored. It was down to the wire. There was the most chances, I think, of any period, and yeah, it was good hockey. And just so tense.
Period.
All the drama leading in.
Yeah.
Great period.
So much drama.
They're all
period
good
of the
periods.
week. Decided. Yeah. All right. Well, Biz, you're the best. We're going to have you back on before the Stanley Cup. You are the best. We love you so much.
I love you guys too.
Enjoy your 3 days off. You deserve it.
The only part of the story I forgot to tell about that girl, though, is Sean Paul came on over the speaker, and I go, "This guy is Canadian." And she goes, "No, he's not." And I go, "Yeah, he is." And then I leaned over to the table. That's how the other table conversation started. And I said, "Hey, did you guys know Sean Paul was Canadian?" And they all shook their head and agreed with me. But he turns out he's Jamaican. So when she heard that, I think she decided, I don't think I'm going to bang him, sweetie, and you're not going to be cranking your cock off in the corner to him either. Let's get the fuck out of here. This guy's a deadbeat.
All right.
That does it. I love you guys.
All right. See you, Biz.
Later, Biz.
Enjoy your days off.
Paul Missed the Net was brought to you by Proper 12. Here's a proper springtime pick, Proper 12 Irish Apple. It's a delicious blend of Proper's award-winning Irish whiskey with crisp, fresh notes of Irish apple. It's perfect neat or with a little ginger ale. There's no better springtime sip. Pour the roar with Proper 12. Pick up a bottle. Try it for yourself. Original, rich and smooth Proper 12 Irish whiskey, or you can try crisp and fresh Irish apple, smooth to the core. I love the Irish apple. Great sipping whiskey. If you like to pass the bottle around, get a bottle of Irish apple Proper 12. It's smooth to the core. Biz was also brought to you by our great friends at Chevy. As everyone knows, this is a Chevy truck podcast. The greatest trucks ever built, and our good friends at Chevy have been a big part of the Part of My Take story. From the Silverado helping us dig the biggest hole ever dug in Ohio during Grit Week, to Silverado partnering with us to give college fullbacks all the rightful recognition they deserve with a Lowman Award, to our nonstop cross-country trip to the Super Bowl in L.A. behind the wheel of a Chevy Silverado. Silverado has been part of it all. Chevy Silverado, longtime awesome partner of the show, a truck with commanding and unstoppable grit, legendary capability, and dependability too. So find out for yourself, like so many other AWLs. Head to Chevy.com, check out all the Chevy truck grit, and build your own Silverado. For do-it-yourself projects to road trips, off-road adventures, tailgates, whatever your thing is, it all starts with a Chevy truck. And now, here is Jerry O'Connell.
Okay, we now welcome on one of our best friends in the whole world. It is Jerry O'Connell. Very, 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 very,
Bing
very,
bong.
very special guest. We tried to call you,
Bing
Jerry,
bong.
on Thursday night. You didn't pick up. So now we have you in your Knicks jersey in front of your
Anthony Mason, rest in peace.
Anthony Mason,
Rest in peace.
in front of your car. What kind of car is that?
This is a Delta 88. It's an Oldsmobile in 1966. This is how we roll in New York. Bing bang, Maxie. Yeah. I just got a couple things I want to say to Maxie, okay? Hey, Maxie, Tobias Harris had like 2 points down the stretch in every game.
He had
more
0 points in the
rebounds
last game.
than he had points. Bing bang. See? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Casual Sixers fan gonna want to trade Tobias Harris for one of those crumble cookies. Bing bang. Maxie. How you feeling, Maxie? Bing bang.
It was a good win. Big
I'm
off season for
trolling
the
you.
Sixers. Big off season for the Sixers. We're
Wait,
on to the off
Jerry.
season.
Jerry, Jerry
Look
has
at you. I'm trolling him. He's like my baby reindeer. Bing bong, Maxie. Yeah.
Jerry. What? Where you're calling us from New York City, right?
No, I'm actually I came back. I was in New York yesterday.
You're Calabasas.
I'm back home. I had to come back home, but I had to tell my wife that I had to work. Oh man, a work Zoom just came up. So I drove to a park. This is like a mile away from my house. This is a park that I'm in. I had to come to a park, and she was like a Zoom, like a work Zoom on Sunday, and I was like, it's crazy. I missed it. I was in New York. Bing bong, Maxie.
So wait, Jerry, did you put your jersey on?
Hey, Maxie. Hey, Maxie. Maxie, I want to say, way to go and having Big Dom not getting banned from Wells Fargo Arena.
He was just there doing his job, protecting the new guys.
Cooper DeJean, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was nice.
He didn't touch any of the players. Way to go. Big Dom.
Probably should have.
So Jerry, when you left your house today and
Sorry
you
about that.
went on this
Sorry
very
about that.
important Zoom meeting,
I was going to say sorry
did you
about
put
that
the jersey on your way out? And you were like, sorry, babe, I got
No,
work call.
No. I'll show you what I did. I wore this on the way out, and I snuck the jersey in my pocket. Hey, sorry about that 9 p.m. start time there, Maxie. That was a little late. Maybe you should have had a couple sodas and stayed up. Bing bong.
I did watch the game.
Sorry.
Yeah, a couple sodas kept me up.
Jerry.
Hey, by the way, question for you, Maxie. How many of those 2,000 tickets ended up on the Game Time app for Knicks fans to find their seats? Bing bong.
Those were for first responders.
Yeah.
Those were for first responders
Jerry.
in Philadelphia.
Jerry,
We love first responders. We love first responders.
We love first responders. And also prayers to tomorrow.
Even if they sell their tickets on the Game Time app, more power to them.
Yeah, and first responders, Jerry, you got to remember, first responders saved DeMar Hamlin's life.
Facts.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to first responders.
Yes.
But also shout out to Maxie's Villanova for being the entire New York Knicks squad. Bing bong, Maxie.
Jerry,
Bing bong.
Jerry, you mentioned
the hockey Jerry.
You mentioned
hockey Jerry, right, Hank?
Yeah.
Bing bong. Drake May has no footwork, Hank. He has no footwork. Bing bong. Hanky, yeah.
He's coming for you, Hank. He's coming for you.
Do the Pacers first.
Yeah, Jerry, you mentioned game
time. Hey, let me
time.
ask you something, Maxie. Okay. Back to Maxie. Hold on a second. Back to Maxie. If the owners give away 2,000 tickets, is that like mess with the inflation, just like a Bidenomics or something? Bing bong.
First responders.
Yeah,
first responders. If you don't like the 2,000 tickets, you don't like first responders.
How'd that brickin' for chicken work out for you? Bing bong. Yeah, this is a Raising Cane's podcast. Bing bong, Raising Cane.
Jerry, you mentioned game time. You mentioned Raising Cane's. Nothing makes me laugh harder than Jerry O'Connell going harder for our sponsors than most of our employees. You were tweeting about DK Horse yesterday. I appreciate it so much.
You know, I got to tell you, full disclosure, all AWLs, and how is everybody? And Maxie, I do want to say that series could have gone anyway. I mean, it was like down to the last couple seconds, and it was. Listen, as a Knicks fan, it really is quite shocking that we made it out of that. I mean, it's just not how it goes. We're like the Maple Leafs. Congrats, Cocky Hank.
Thank you.
We're like the Maple Leafs of the first round, so we don't even do it. But it's so funny about that DK Horse app. I mentioned earlier I was in New York. My dad, who is a man of a particular age, loves the ponies, loves the horses. We've been to the Kentucky Derby a number of times. And yesterday he was laid up in hospital, and we were watching the Derby. And I got to tell you, man, being an AWL, I was like, Dad, there's this app called DK Horse. And we can bet this. And yesterday he was laid up. This is not a joke. He was hooked up to a heart monitor, okay? And he won a couple of races. And you could see on the heart monitor as the horses were coming down the stretch, it was like beep, 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 beep. and that's why I posted that thing about DK Horse and blood flow. By the way, DK Horse saved my father's life.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. It kept him going.
Jerry, what I also love about you is how you always talk about, if your team is playing against like Hank's team or against Max's team, you're on the talk and you do like a little sidebar to your audience and you're like, everybody say hi to Philly Mays, say hi to Maxie. I'm curious to know like how your audience reacts to that, because you're trying to hype them up for it. Do they know who Max is? And if not, do you explain it to them?
Okay, so a lot of AWLs will not know this because they don't have what do they call it? Like regular TV, like
Cable?
What do you call regular TV?
Yeah,
like cable. Yeah. Broadcast television. Unless you're Max, and then your Direct TV goes out with 2 minutes left in the game in Game 6. Couldn't get any points in the last 2 minutes, and you couldn't get Direct TV. Bing bong, Maxie. So no one knows what part of my take is, or the fact that I'm on there. So when I shout out Maximilian Galenti and his Sixers, they have no clue what I'm saying. I mean, it's like, it doesn't mean anything to them.
Yeah. What, Jerry?
When I congratulated Jerry on his hole-in-one, they were like, "Oh, your friend Jerry got a hole-in-one." They had no clue what I was talking about.
Well, speaking of that show, can we talk through the yellow shirt? The yellow shirt.
I wore a yellow shirt, and I posted about it. Did I? What about the yellow shirt?
Well, it was a really bad shirt. And you're a good-looking guy. What were you trying to do? Were you trying to maybe bring yourself down so us mortals can be like, oh, we could look like Jerry O'Connell if we just put on the worst yellow shirt possible?
I have to have 150. I do 150 episodes a year, so I have to get like 150 shirts, and some of them I just order online. And when they come in, I mean, I'm out of clean clothes,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the color of like a peep, like a marshmallow peep.
Yeah. Hey, Maxie, bing bong. I see you. What's going on? You crying just like Nick Sirianni at the national anthem? Bing bong.
We're on to the off season. It's going to be a big off season.
Jerry, are you?
Yeah. Hey, question. I got a question for Maxie. Bing bong. Hey, Maxie, Coach Sirianni, he's not calling defense. He's not calling offense. What is his role? Bing bong.
He's just gonna be a leader of men. We got to see what happens this year. I'm back in on Birds, back in on the Sirianni train. Leader of men.
Oh, by the way, oh God, I didn't tag Max in that. Dove Kleiman posted that workout video of the Eagles. I mean, they look pretty good.
Yeah,
strong.
Still need a defense. Bing bong.
Strong.
Yeah, first team to lift in the offseason. Jerry, are you nervous at all about the Pacers? Because we really want it to be you versus Hank, and we want you to come and watch a game with us.
I do. I'm very nervous about the Pacers. There's a history there. I was actually, believe it or not, this is not a bit. I was at that Reggie Miller game, at the choke game. And it was it actually shaped me. It made me put sports in perspective. I was depressed for months after that, and still to this day, it was like a traumatic experience. It was a nightmare. So, I mean, I gotta say, I think the Pacers actually. I know this is terrible to say as a Knicks fan, and Knicks fans are going to come for me, but I think we just get the yips when we're around them. It's a bummer. It's like the Sixers or the Phillies or the Eagles in the final game. Bing bong.
Phillies best team in baseball.
Yeah, Phillies are the best team in baseball.
So Jerry, you're not overlooking the Pacers. Is what you're saying?
Not only am I not overlooking the Pacers. Hey, listen, guys, we've also come this far without Julius Randle. I mean, this is incredible. This has been a lot of fun. Exciting time to be a New York fan. Rangers are clicking. It's like 94 all over again. But listen, you guys are also fans of franchises that have been through it. I don't get my hopes up. There's a great New York bar here in Los Angeles. I got to give it a shout out. It's called 33 Taps. If you are a New York fan, you got to come to it. I've never seen, the only place I've seen more Knicks fans is at the Garden itself. It was so electric to just be in a different town and go to your hometown bar. It's such a fun time. It's such a friendly vibe. There's no there's no fighting or anything. It's great.
What are you kneeling in the dirt right now?
Yeah, I am. I was getting a cramp in my legs because I was trying to show my car off, and I was squatting, and I got like a sick cramp in the back of my leg and my meat flappers. What did you call them, Maxie? Bing bong. What'd you call them? Your meat curtains?
Big hanging
have there?
clackers. Big meaty clankers.
Big meaty clackers. Big meaty clackers.
Bing
Oh,
bong.
Yeah. So, Jerry, were you at MSG?
You know what? I got to tell you something. Bing bong. Friction boy. You should put it inside. It feels much better. Bing bong. Yeah. Put it in. Feel those sugar walls. Enough with that friction. Bing bong, Maxie.
Jerry,
I see you.
Did you go to a game? Did you go to MSG?
No, I didn't. I have kids. I have a wife. I mean, I can barely make this Zoom. I had to lie about this Zoom. I'm like hiding in a park. People probably think I'm a predator. It's I'm kneeling on my hands and knees in a public park.
You look so uncomfortable.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I hope your wife has like a private detective that's following you around. She's like, I think he's lying about where he's going. Can you follow him and see what he's up to? And he's just parking his car at an angle in a park and then getting on his knees screaming into a phone.
I think he's on. I think he's on OnlyFans.
Yeah, you do look like you're doing a weird photo shoot right now by yourself. if you walked by, you'd be like, "Why is this guy doing a photo shoot with his car?"
I'm an influencer in the wild.
Yeah.
What else, Max? It was a good series, Max. I mean, I'm kind of ribbing you. It really could have gone either way. It was always down to the last couple seconds. I will say this. Because my buddy Ryan, who's the boss, I don't know if you remember last time I was on here. He's a big boss, so we can't say his last name. Ryan did help me out with some of these Phillies facts.
The guy from
I said,
right? The guy from
don't say what company he works for. Don't, please. Like, I'm not even kidding, because I'm talking about like meat flappers and everything, and I don't want to coming back to him. He's like got stockholders to deal with and stuff.
Right.
But he's got a real job. Mm-hmm. For a real place. He helped me write some of these. He's like such a huge Philly fan, and I got to tell you, I do have such respect for those Philly fans. They're just such ride or dies. They really are. I mean, it's an incredible town to play for, which is why. I got to tell you, which is why I think that Tobias really screwed you guys. I don't think he is really a good fit in Philadelphia at all.
He'll never play as a Sixer ever again, so that's good.
Yeah,
and he shouldn't. You know, it's pretty easy if you play in a town like Philly and you show respect. The town will respect you back.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Even if you're going through tough times, and I believe it cost you the series with the Knicks, personally.
Yeah,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong,
Jerry. So, are you? How do you feel about the return of Cocky Hank? And it might be Knicks Celtics in the Eastern Conference Final.
Yeah, he should be cocky. I mean, I know you guys are talking about the NBA, but this is a football podcast. Remember that. This is a football podcast first and foremost. And Drake May, I don't know. I wouldn't be too cocky with that footwork. Bing bong, Hank. Yeah. Yeah. Don't get too cocky, Hank. This is a football podcast.
He's right. He's right. All right, Jerry, I have one last question because I know you got to go watch a movie with your.
Is it a rollback question?
It's a rollback question.
Is it a rollback?
I know you got to go watch
RHOBACK, RHOBAUKCE, rollback. However they spell it. By the way, of all your sponsors that I shout out, that Robot spelling, that's the weirdest. What's the deal with that? Bing bong, rollback.
The rollback question, RHOBACK.com, promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase, Q-Zips, polos, hoodies, joggers. I know you have to go.
It's like a spelling bee.
I know you have to go watch the Ryan Gosling movie with your supermodel wife.
I know.
And we don't.
Yes.
Yeah, you do have to go do that. But I had one question.
And listen, not a former supermodel. Once a supermodel, always a supermodel. I don't want to hear any of that former supermodel stuff.
You said that to me.
I did. Just to let you know, how cool Big Cat is, everybody. He wrote that I said, I got to go see this Ryan Gosling movie. I bought tickets and like my whole family's excited and I have to go sit there and make believe like I'm into it. And then I lied and said I had a work Zoom that I had to come to. But I said, I got to go see this movie with my, he said, with your supermodel wife. And I wrote forward supermodel and Dan and Big Cat wrote, what's a supermodel? Always a supermodel. It really made me laugh.
That's facts. That's facts. Put some respect on our name. My last question is so we have a side text, me, you, and PFT, and you'll send us stuff that you see on Instagram. And the last like 3 or 4 things you sent us on Instagram have been luxury condos in Chicago. Are you thinking about moving and maybe joining Powers, maybe Avengers? Like you come to the office every day?
Oh man, I gotta tell you, it's just that Gold Coast area of Chicago. For some reason, it's in my algorithm right now. Just like anything going on with Sixers or Drake May's footwork, it just comes into my feed all the time. And some of those apartments look gorgeous. I mean, I would love it. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm here in LA. Everybody else is leaving.
Yeah,
they call it the Viagra Triangle. Yeah.
All right. Well, we should maybe just get you an apartment and be
How
like,
annoying are Knicks fans with that? I want to apologize to the rest of the league and like Knicks fans just yelling "Bing Bong" all the time. It's so annoying.
No, but you guys haven't won anything in such a long
never
time.
Get to do it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, I know. We got another 7 days of it, and then it'll be over. Trust me.
No, stop.
And then we'll be humble Hank again.
Yeah.
Fuck, I got such a cramp in my legs. Jesus.
All right, Jerry, you're the best. Go enjoy the movie. Put your civilian clothes back on. You're the best, and when it gets to Knicks Celtics, we'll have you back on.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Good luck in the postseason, Hank.
You too.
Bing bang.
All right, see you, Jerry.
Bye, Jerry.
Bye, Jerry.
Jerry O'Connell is brought to you by Aura Frames. All mom wants for Mother's Day is to see you more often, right? An Aura digital picture frame is the next best thing. You can preload mom's frame with unlimited photos so she can see everything from her grandkids' dance recitals to what you ate for lunch. And other family members can send photos to mom's frame through the app too, so she'll always feel connected. When you give mom an Aura, you're giving her more than a digital frame. You're giving her the thing that she loves the most, feeling close to you. This would be a great gift for your mom. Your mom can just set it up in the living room, and guess what? You can send new pictures. You can send, if you went on vacation, boom, your vacation pictures. Maybe she's got a grandson, granddaughter. Boom, that's on the frame right there for her. It's named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter, and it's selected as one of Oprah's favorite things. Aura frames are guaranteed to bring joy to moms of all ages. Right now, Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. Listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com/PMT to get $30 off plus free shipping on their best-selling frame. That's auraframes.com/PMT. Use code PMT at checkout to save. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, let's wrap up with the Tom Brady roast on Netflix Sunday night. It was fantastic. I'll say that as a whole, it was fantastic. I think we talked about it on Thursday or Friday's show, and I was like, the litmus test is, will there be a karate instructor joke? And there was almost instantly by Kevin Hart. So it felt like it was truly like nothing was held back. There was a lot of jokes about Giselle. There's a lot of jokes about his divorce, Alex Guerrero, all that stuff. Hank, from your perspective, how did you feel seeing all the guys back together? You even had the weird Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick toast, which, if you notice, Belichick did not shake his hand out.
He didn't want any part of it.
He didn't want any part of it. I respected that he didn't want any part of it. He had to go up there, but he did the bare minimum. But tell us, how'd you feel?
I loved it. I thought it was very funny. It was good to see, the boys back together, having a good time, laughing with each other.
Gronk.
Busting balls. Belichick being there was great. I thought he actually did really well considering, he's Bill Belichick. He's not the most outgoing guy.
Gregarious, yeah. His joke about how it's the roast of Tom Brady. If you missed the roast of Bill Belichick, it was called The Dynasty on Apple TV, was great.
And Amendola took some shots at him in the Dynasty, and he made sure to get back at him, being like, you had 200 yards next year, 250 yards.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's the reason Bill showed up, was just to roast Danny Amendola.
That hurt
One more
Amendola.
time. Yeah.
You could tell that hurt him.
Yeah. Also, Gronk was awesome.
The best.
Gronk was awesome because Gronk very obviously wrote his own material.
Yeah.
Which is the most Gronk thing ever. And all his material was like, Kevin Hart is here. He's gay. Julian, you're gay. Tom, you're gay too. Julian, you're really gay.
Remember when Tom went to Tampa and then he had a 1,300-mile dick to fuck Bill Belichick? Well, Julian spit on it.
Yeah, Julian was.
That was gay.
Lubing it up because Julian, you're really gay. And Tom, you were so gay.
That was, and also Gronk just. I said afterwards, I would pay money for an inside the NFL type show of just Gronk mic'd up throughout that entire roast, ISO cam on him, because no one in the world has ever had a better. I don't know why I'm laughing, but I think this is funny face than Rob Gronkowski.
He would look around at everybody while he was laughing to see if somebody was going to interpret the joke for him.
Right.
And say it. But he does seem like the best guy to go to a roast with.
Ever. Jules crushed it.
Jules was really good, yeah.
Jules was awesome. I thought Nikki Glazer was the best. Because anytime you have a roast, like the professional comedians, you can just see why they're professional comedians. Their delivery is just different. She was fantastic. I thought Ben Affleck was the weirdest and worst.
It was really strange. He was like, you fuckers at home have the nerve to comment on Tom Brady.
It was a Tom Brady roast, and he spent 10 minutes yelling about like an anonymous Bills fan.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre. I don't know what that was. He was definitely the LVP roaster.
Surprised with no Bill Burr.
Yeah, Bill Burr would have been good.
He probably
would have been great.
He probably respected Tom too much to do it.
That was the weird thing, is like there was a bunch of comedians there that didn't really have connection to. I know you have to fill it with comedians, but yeah, Bill Burr would have been great. Yeah.
Tom Brady, I think, had the best joke of the night though.
Which one?
Kim Kardashian in the front row.
Yeah.
He's like, she's uncomfortable to be here.
Yeah.
Because her kids are at home with their dad.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Why the fuck did you say that?"
Yeah.
That's a good joke.
She kind of looked, but she kind of
She liked it, yeah.
Yeah, she
That's
kind of
hot.
was like, "We're gonna fuck."
I also like how they just booed. They booed the fuck out of Kim.
Booed the fuck out of
Got
her.
up there.
Yeah. Bledsoe was probably the best non-comedian, non-Julian Edelman roaster. Jules, we're gonna give number one. Non-comedian. I also, because his Alex Guerrero line was good too. I also
Randy Moss.
Yeah.
Redneck.
Yeah. I also loved that Bill Belichick got up there and for no reason just started roasting his offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Like no one was talking about Matt Light, and he was just like, let me get some in on Matt Light.
He did a solid 5 minutes.
It's like he just got back into coaching.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Just like breaking down film. I had to tell you to shut the fuck up so many times.
Yeah. I was surprised no one did a Willie McGinnis fight joke. That was weird.
Yeah.
But they probably didn't want to get beat up.
I could actually see Tom Brady taking this as like all the criticism, all the jokes to heart and being like, I fucking hate everybody now.
Yeah.
Like I despise all you guys.
There was a couple moments where I was like, is he gonna... It felt uncomfortable in the room.
They made one Robert Kraft massage joke, and Tom said, "Stop
Shut
that.
it down."
Stop
I don't know if that was a bit or if that was real.
I think that
might
was
have been real.
Yeah,
because they didn't make another one.
yeah.
And there was a couple divorce jokes. Who did the one? Someone talked about karate instructor. I can't remember how it went, but it was
Beating your ass while eating your
yeah,
wife's.
but be eating your wife's ass. Yeah, that's right.
I think that was Nikki Glazer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was.
She fucking rocked.
And right off the bat, I think Kevin Hart at the start made the first karate instructor joke, and he was like, "Yeah, you didn't think anything was weird when she's been a white belt for 5 years."
I'm just happy because it feels like roast might be back. Like that was a legitimately very good roast. Yeah, it was a little long, and there was a couple people that probably didn't need to go up there, but for the most part, like we watched the whole thing. We were laughing the whole time.
Yeah, it was good.
I thought it was very good, and hopefully roasts are back.
Roasts are back.
I would have liked to see Eli come out instead of Peyton. That would have been good.
There's a reason Nick Foles wasn't invited.
Yeah. He hates Nick Foles.
Hates
Talk
Nick
about it in
Foles.
the documentary.
He probably told people because anytime they brought up the Eagles, it was about the Eagles team. Nobody said Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Brady was like, "There's two things you can't joke about: Robert Kraft's massage therapy, and then don't say the fucking words Nick Foles."
Yeah. And then someone did make some Philadelphia joke. I think Brady made some Philadelphia jokes at the end, and Max was just like, terrible. They were pretty funny. You didn't get the one about Kevin Hart.
Whatever.
Yeah, it was a Kevin Hart joke. And Brady did a 9/11 joke.
He did, yeah.
It was a Drew Bledsoe joke.
But it was, two Jets hitting
Yeah.
Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah.
Which is the whole reason Brady got in was because that game was delayed because of 9/11.
Yeah.
It restarted, Bledsoe gets hurt. Now we have Tom Brady.
Yeah. I bet you that was pretty cathartic for Drew Bledsoe.
Oh, yeah.
Just sit there and watch everyone roast him.
He was like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, he probably does.
Yeah.
He probably really does hate him. So overall, pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
And Fights. Fights was there. Our guy Fights was there.
What do you think about Tom Brady's look now? You think he looks good?
I think he looks great.
He looks like the Fox graphics when they do the animations of the players.
The cartoon ones?
But he's that
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah.
Somebody put it perfectly. He looks like gay Tom Brady.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
I think it looks great.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's a little weird. What?
I think it's pretty cool that about half the roasters have been on this show.
Yeah, there were a lot.
There are a lot of them.
I would have liked to see
Comedians,
Shane go up there.
athletes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
we did have a ton of those guys.
Shane would have
Let's
been great.
think. Oh, Jules, obviously.
Gronk.
Willie.
We haven't
Jeffrey
had
Ross.
We've never had Randy.
Bert
on,
and
right?
Tom. Yeah, we need to get Randy. Well, we've had Randy Moss.
We've had Randy Moss on the show. Yes.
It would have been great if Randy Moss was there.
Yeah.
Andrew, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Andrew Schultz.
Yep. Yeah, we've had
Dana.
a lot of them. Dana. Yep. Yeah, he did. He got his 60 seconds.
Peyton.
Yeah. Rich Eisen, Rich Eisen
Lot of
definitely
camera time.
was like, make sure the camera's on me.
A lot of camera time.
Yeah. But yeah, good roast. Roasts are back.
I'll have Kim on the show too.
I will have Kim on the show as well.
Yeah.
We won't make any jokes about Kanye.
But
Maybe we will because that was such a hot look you gave Tom Brady.
we also
was.
might talk about Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that was a hot look.
It was
She definitely was like, we're fucking later, and I'm going to be angry about it. And I'd like to watch.
A lot of OJ jokes too.
A lot of OJ jokes.
OJ caught a few strays.
Yeah. Damn.
And Aaron Hernandez.
Oh,
Aaron Hernandez got roasted.
the biggest stray of the night was Antonio Cromartie.
Yeah,
When Tom was like, my career's lasted this long. When I started, this happened. And Antonio Cromartie only had one kid.
And you have to, I think, like Antonio Cromartie kid jokes, you have to really be an NFL fan.
Yeah.
It was a room of a lot of comedians who were like, huh?
Cromartie's at home with a living room of 10 kids, and he's watching this thing like, this is awesome. Everyone's making fun of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And then he just takes a stray.
And all his kids were like, was it me? Are they talking about me?
Yeah.
All right, good show, boys. We got a very special guest coming Wednesday, by the way. Very special. Legend of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Someone we talked about Masters Week a lot. Okay. Max, have you ever gotten this?
No.
Shane and Pug, how awesome was the party? It was awesome without Max and Hank there.
Party was awesome. PFT's house is awesome. Pug.
PFT's house is awesome again. I went to every single room.
Pug is the man. Pug was the guest of honor by far there.
Yeah. Shane was trying all new stuff, having a margarita.
Yeah. He had tequila for the first time. I made a Malort-rita.
Shane's not a real human being. He's basically like he's Encino Man.
He's never had McDonald's.
He's not a real human being. He never had Chipotle until like 2 years ago or a year ago.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
He doesn't have Chinese food. What were you picking, Shane? What was Shane picking out of his food the other day? He was picking something out of his food. What don't you like? You didn't like something. You were just picking it all out. It was like rice or something. I don't know.
What food?
I can't remember. You're just picking.
Was it the Costa Rican?
Yeah, maybe.
Like peppers and stuff?
Yeah, he didn't like peppers.
But they were
Onions?
bell peppers.
It was bell peppers and
Yeah.
like sautéed onions. He's like, I don't like any
Onions,
of this. Yeah. Okay, numbers.
8.
46.
3. 18.
Let's go 12 for Tom Brady.
99 Pug. 21.
Max, you ever gotten this?
I already answered this question.
What was the answer?
You can go back and check.
What was the answer? Let's pretend that I just tuned in. What was the answer? No. He's saying no right now. He's never gotten it. Two.
Love you guys.